What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. We are live. Amy, myself, and Olivia are on tonight. Will be a fun one. I've got some news on the future as far as hosts. Something important I want to talk to you about. We've got some personal stuff that we need to talk about. Hey, Siri. Turn lights to 30%. Damn you, Siri. You and your constant struggle to listen and obey. We got a whole bunch to talk about. Olivia's got some information. I've got a personal story to share. Amy's going to probably share a personal story. We've all got personal stories. Amy's not in the picture right now, but
that's okay. It's probably better.
No, there you. There
I think I should just make me like an avatar, like Liv.
Oh yeah, remember when we did that? We gave her a little voice and everything. That was so much better when.
Yeah.
She didn't argue with me all the time. I'm just kidding.
Oh Lord.
I'm kidding. We got a bunch. Listen. I was gonna show y'all a J6 video that somebody made. Sorry, you're getting echo right now. The show's playing over Facebook, but I don't think we're gonna do that. We're gonna stick to what we know and talk a little bit about what's in the news right now. But there is this J6 truth video that I found very interesting. I started watching it, and a lot of it I'm kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, I know. The lights are wrong. There we go. Is that better?
Yeah,
see you guys in 3 minutes.
It's like the sun came out.
I know. The sun will come out tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, the bassist from Still Point, Maddie, is in the house. The song you're listening to, the smooth, wonderful sounds of Still Point, which you can find on iTunes and Spotify and all over the interwebs. STIILPOINT, the Don't Unfriend Me band. Matt is in the house. Live 4 years, and I think it's time for a new chair.
Okay.
The arm pads are going away, and it's killing my forearms and elbow. And you know I need that extra cushion. And I think it's time to. We can put this in the computer room.
Yeah.
Yeah, and order a new one. It's time. It's time to upgrade the chair.
Retire that chair.
Retire that chair. 4 years. Time to go. Amy, here comes your daughter. I'm so proud. Why the fuck? Why is it doing that? What the
Love that. That is the cutest thing.
I don't love this. Where's the Hodge video? Here. So stupid.
Hi, Matthew. It's Judge Janine, and I wanted to congratulate you on the Don't Unfriend Me show at the DUM show. I was thinking about that whole thing the other day when I thought it was right after Donald Trump was elected that everybody on the left started unfriending anyone on the right. So I'm glad you're calling them out. You've got a great name for this show, and I hope that you're true to the values, conservative values, Republican values, and that you call those people out. I think it's great. And I know you've got 135,000 followers. I hope you get a lot more.
We did.
And just keep the faith. Keep fighting. I think we may get America back. But in the meantime...
Oh, we got her back.
To climb. And
we got it.
One of the fighters, one of the patriots.
Damn right.
So thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, no problem. My pleasure.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
So somebody came on today who I hadn't seen in a while, and I don't remember their name because they're really inconsequential in my life, but they were a fan. And, somebody you see, but never participates in the shows. And, they're basically, they like the memes and stuff like that. And so I posted the Nazi salute Elon thing, right? And the reason I posted it is because it's news, right? And that's what we do. And whether people like it or not, we are a form of the media, right? So I posted this, and she comes on and she says, now the media is telling the lies and being dishonest, and here we go. And this is what I've come to expect. And I'm like, are you talking to me? You talking to me? Are you talking to me? And I was just like, I'm wondering. And I'm like, hey, we're just reporting the news. Why? What is it that's bothering you? And she goes, am I talking about you? I'm talking about the mainstream media. Am I talking about you? No, with like 16 no's. Right, Z formation.
Jeez.
And I'm like, Jesus, lady, try some decaf. And she comes back and she's like, don't use the Lord's name in vain. You know what? You've changed. I've been watching you for 4 years and you've really changed. And I'm like, have I? Have I? Have I really changed? Because I've watched the videos and guess what? I haven't changed that much. I'm the same asshole I've always been, and I've been your type of asshole until I'm not. So instead of going, well, wait a second, Matt's calling me out here. Maybe, since I always agree, or most of the time with what Matt says, maybe it's me. That's what's called positive intent. So I just go, lady, you then changed it to mainstream media in your reply, but you said me. I don't know who you're talking. I just asked you a question. So you know what? You're right. I shouldn't use the Lord's name in vain. That was wrong, and I apologize. And then I said, and if you're open to some feedback, maybe if you follow me, you shouldn't treat me like a piece of shit. Have a good day. That's it. I'm done. I'm blocking you. What the did I do? So it started off that way. And then, I thought that was bad. I've been less of an asshole lately. That's not true.
You really have. I think you have changed, but not
Shut
in
the
a
fuck
negative
up,
way.
Amy. Nobody
not in a
asked
negative
you.
Way. I know. I'm giving my 2 cents, motherfucker.
I didn't beep you. You totally set me up to have you on the beep, and I totally fuck.
Brother. Yeah.
Sorry. Thanks. It means a lot. Listen, I'm in a good place. And I'm back in the gym, and I love my sexy, beautiful wife, and I've got good friends and good followers, and I feel the channel's in a good spot. But I think I'm less angry.
Yeah, I would say so.
I think I'm less angry
When,
because I would get
on the show, you definitely don't, because you used to, any troll that would come on the show, you would you would let them hijack the show and
Yep.
you make the entire show about them. You don't do that anymore.
Yeah, Matt has gone soft. Fuck you, JD. Fuck you. No, I'm sorry. So a lot of cussing, and I haven't been cussing as much, and it just I'm happy.
But
I'm
I
happy.
have.
Oh my
Apparently
God, you
both
and
of us.
Olivia, like
It's called menopause.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we don't. It's that id gaff mentality now.
yeah, you guys need to definitely like count some Hail Marys. So less anal. No, there's plenty of anal. Just ask Liv.
Yeah.
So the whole point.
She pitches.
It's right. I totally catch, and it's like Johnny Bench. Like, where's that coming from? So, damn, Amy, that was good. I didn't expect that from you. You're supposed to be a Catholic.
Sorry.
But we just saw the bishop go ahead and give a sermon, and wow, I guess Catholics are kind of lower
I
rent.
didn't realize women can be bishops in the Catholic Church.
They're not.
The lesbians
They're
can,
not.
and they're not, and that's not Roman Catholic. It's and we learned this. It's Episcopalian. So get it right. Stop being
Not Catholic. We don't like women in the Catholic Church. It's all about the men.
Yeah, I'm totally a Catholic. I don't like women either. So let's get to the thing that I really need to talk about. So you have lightened up on your attitude. See, I don't think that's true. I think, listen, is it possible that yes, I have pulled it back some, but could it be possible that you guys are learning your kung fu a little bit?
I think it's a little of both.
Right.
And
Yes.
I think you let things roll off of you so you don't get as irritated and agitated every show like you used to. So you just
Yeah.
kind of flow with it and go with it as opposed
Money
to
was a big concern, the stress of the show, not knowing if we're going to make it, carrying that around, all of this. And I'm well aware of it. And that's what's great about this show is that I don't punch in for an hour like Ben Shapiro and can put on a smiling face and have a producer go, cut. You get it raw. And that's just the way it is. So I agree. I think it's been about 6 months of feeling really good. And I think we're in a good spot. And, but I think people have learned a little bit of Kung Fu. And that's because there's new people who come on and go, this guy's an asshole. And probably felt the way you guys did it 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. That's what we hear the most. I didn't like Matt when I first met him. And then now I like him. And like herpes, he's just a gift that keeps on giving. So,
Can I say something? Because I was a listener before I was on the show.
Yes.
And I remember I saw you in, I don't know, a Facebook group, and I promoted you on my Facebook group. And I was like, this is a great person. What are you doing?
I'm just preparing myself for your compliments. Just keep
No, I'm
talking
like-
about. Just keep
No.
talking about me.
just roll your eyes.
Just keep talking about me. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Oh, God.
See, look at
The
that.
head is getting bigger.
I think,
She's
yeah, now
she's
it's had to hang
back.
up.
She's back.
I don't know what
Go
happened.
ahead.
I don't know what
Go
happened.
ahead.
But I always loved your candor. I never thought you were rude, or I thought that you were very passionate. But maybe I see things differently than the majority of other people. I don't know. I just really appreciated your style, and it really drew me in. And I think that's the reason I was like, this guy is amazing. I was telling everybody, you got to listen to this guy. He's not only factual, he's like honest and raw and like real.
Handsome.
And when you stopped cussing for a while, I was like, stop it. Like, go back to cussing. Remember, I was
You
like, I
did.
was
You
against
yelled
it.
at me.
I
You
was
yelled,
like,
and you
stop
got
it. Be
pissed.
yourself.
The show
Yeah.
used to be an hour and a half on the recorded show, and she would get mad. She's like,
Yeah.
"Why is it 15 minutes?" And I remember her chewing me out for that. So
Yeah, it's true.
yeah.
It's all true. So anyway, I think you've
All right, well,
changed.
Thank
It's
you.
been like a lot. I mean, it's like an up and down, and we're all still finding our groove. I mean, I've definitely changed. I'm like, ooh.
You're more outspoken, and you're perfect. Like you're quick-witted, you're sharp-tongued, you have no problem saying what you want to say. You've like grown it. You were meek when you first started. Like the first year, you were meek.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
not
because I
that way
didn't
anymore.
know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I mean, I had a
I
YouTube
know.
channel, but it was different than this. So it's different. So
And let's face it, it's hard to get a word in with me sometimes. Olivia has been also. You guys have kind of maturated at the same, a little bit behind. She because she hasn't been here on here as long, but Olivia's been hitting her stride. And then I think Leroy and I are in a wicked good place. Like Leroy and I's shows are just like bam, bam,
You
bam.
guys needed a show by
Yes.
yourself. Yeah,
Yes,
you guys need to
100%.
have a night or two
We
by
said
yourself.
that last night.
because-
We're like, thank God the estrogen's gone.
yeah, you guys.
I
needed
agree.
it.
I think you guys are like the best couple on TV at all. Like you guys
The
are
odd
just the best.
couple.
I love you and Leroy.
He
Yeah, I love you
catches.
guys.
He catches.
Yeah.
So
I love
so let's get to a point where
Although I
want
miss
to-
having him on
oh.
with me because I miss Leroy because I love him. But
Yeah, well, and that's what I said. I said, I'm missing Amy, and he loves you too, and you know that. And what we should do is like maybe once a month everyone get back together. So here's the thing. This is weird. Olivia's got a story to share, and then I want to because I know my cousins are in California listening, and very seldom do I. Sorry, been watching a long time, and yes, Matt can get a little rude.
LOL.
Oh, that's fine. No. See, I don't consider honesty to be rude. I just don't, because that's never in my intent, and that's why I always try to express to people. But I understand that I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and my delivery style is not always acceptable. I'm very well aware of that. But you always know where you stand with me. You're never going to be like stabbed in the back. You're never going to be surprised. You're never just going to be like, geez, that was out of left field. You're gonna know, because I'm going to tell you. And with that, I expect you to do the same for me. So I will say this: I can take feedback, and I expect people to receive it. And if that relationship is healthy, then we're good. And if not, I piss you off, and you ultimately quit. Okay. Two things. I first want to address something about the host team. It has been Olivia, myself, and Amy and Leroy for a while, and we have had other people come on who have wanted to do the host gig and try it. And we are always acquiesced to that request. It's something that we love, and we love to bring new people on. And we've had several, and some have worked out, and some haven't. And it's never something you anticipate when you jump on the show, how you're going to feel, because you just don't know until you do it. I personally want to thank Mike for coming on, and first Mike, who was on for a couple months. Sorry, my audio board has a glitch. Mike that first came on, Mikey No Legs, the Marine green crayon eater. I just think that it was fun, and he enjoyed it for the first time. But when we moved to nights, it wasn't his thing. He wanted to do the daytime, but we couldn't consistently keep it going. So it was just a mutual hey. And then we had a couple of other people who had come on, and I don't really talk about them. But Mike Lynch jumped in, gave it a shot, liked it somewhat, but it also creates complications. He's focused on his job. He's focused on starting a family and getting his homestead right and finding that person in his life. And this requires a lot, but it also can impact you if you are not in a position where you're self-employed. And I think Mike is focused on his career, and at 32 years of age, it's probably not the best recipe for him to come on here with some of the things we talk about, because it can be controversial. So it was a mutual decision to remain a fan and continue to watch the show. And if that changes and he's in a position where he feels stronger and that he's secure in his position, he'll come back on. But just want to give him our best and say thank you, and we appreciate him giving it a shot. So Mike will be in the rafters, so to speak, and he is in chat right now talking, and we expect him to participate whenever he can or wants to. The second thing, this is a little bit different. So I'm sitting at Olivia's computer, and Olivia got a new keyboard because as I was doing her office, I have my drill, and it's a big DeWalt, and it's got a giant battery in it. And at some point it got knocked over, and it had the drill bit, or the Phillips head bit in it, and it moved forward, and it went, and it hit one of the keys. Now, the thing about Apple product is that it does not impact, take impact very well, because it's aluminum. So it basically indented the board and stuck a key down, and I had to buy Olivia a new keyboard.
Which, by the way, this keyboard is awesome.
Right.
I really, really like it, and it's going to be quiet when I type, which is great. So I just thought I'd let you know that.
At least the keyboard can. So that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. That was okay.
You're starting.
You
early
have
now.
been so mean to me on the show the last couple weeks, and I've been taking it.
I didn't even mean you.
You've been hitting me good. Like, you've been getting stingers in. So I just figured I'd get one in. early.
What'd you hit?
I don't know, but I broke something. So anyway, come on, this is supposed to be a serious story. So I'm sitting down and I'm putting on her keyboard, and then in calendars I have everybody's birthday. Amy's is in there, Leroy's is in there. I've got listeners in there, all that.
You know my birthday?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry. That's
Follow the story. Listen, this is serious.
Sorry.
So it doesn't matter. I'm just messing with you. So as I'm setting up the keyboard and I'm touching Bluetooth, immediately a notification pops up in the right-hand corner. And it says, like, an Intel guy's not going to be able to figure out your birthday? Give me a break. So it's up in the top right-hand corner, and it pops up, and it says, Randy Sr.'s birthday tomorrow. Now, Randy Sr. is my uncle, and everyone knows I love that man like no other. Care about him more than anything else in the world. And when he died, it was really hard for me because my aunt, who is just such like shields up type woman, protects her family. When Uncle Randy was in that position, he didn't want anyone to see him weak and frail. And, you know, we had talked about that many times, and she even apologized at one point and said, I'm really sorry I didn't let you see him. And I'm like, how? No, this is your husband. You're protecting him. This is the right thing. I didn't get closure, but I've moved on from that. And she's such a sweet and awesome lady, and I love her family. So when this popped up, I just stopped, and I started thinking for a second. I'm like, God, really miss him. And I turned the board over and I opened it up, and I thought it was like a rechargeable, but it's battery. So I'm like, okay, I gotta go get battery. So I stood up and I went to the closet. But that signal popped up. I haven't seen it since he died. I've never seen it pop up because sometimes your notifications just come up and you miss them and then they go by the wayside. Never seen it. And I walked to the closet and I'm grabbing the batteries, and Hayden, I hear her thumping up the stairs. And, that's usually nothing new, but this time she's running with purpose. And I'm sorry this is so long, but it's important. And she goes, Dad. And I'm like, what is wrong? What, like, I could hear by the tone of her voice. I'm like, what is wrong? And I'm one of those people, like, when it's time to punch the clock, I get real serious. And when I know that there's a threat or something's wrong, like, I immediately just go into alpha mode and red mode and just take over. And I said, and she goes, Randy. I said, which one? Because they're all Randy. There was Randy Raymond Sr., Randy Jr., and then R3, which is little Randy. Since little Randy grew up to Dad Randy, now he has little Randy Jr., which is R3, and he's Randy Sr., etc. And I said, which one? And she's like, R3. And I'm like, immediately a pit in my stomach just dropped. I said, what happened? Because he's a fireman and he's been fighting these fires. And I expected to hear, he's pinned down or fire turned on him, or he had some smoke inhalation or something like that. And what I didn't want to hear was cancer is back. And that's what we heard. And Hayden goes, his cancer is back. And he's starting chemo. And so the first thing I want to know is it in his lymph nodes? Because that's pretty serious. Now, he had testicular cancer. This guy's a huge athlete, football player, unbelievably good football player, fireman, super smart, could do anything he wants in his life, and what he wants to do is serve and protect. And he had just went through and had one of his testicles removed, and this guy laughs about it and jokes around all the time, and he's just got a great sense of humor, good looking, minus his pedo mustache, because he's got a pedo mustache.
Because he's a fireman.
He's a fireman. So anyway. So I call Megs and I just am like, do you need a Spear or a Raymond? And the Raymonds are my mom's side, but the Raymonds who are in Bakersfield are not crazy like my mom and her side. And then there's the Spears. The Spears are like my sister and my mom. They get emotional. And the Raymonds are just steadfast. They're warriors. They put shields up. They just have this mentality. And I'm a Spear when it comes to a lot of things, but I have a lot of Raymond in me. I have a lot of my uncle in me. And talk to Megs, and I'm like, how do I assist or whatever? So I'm just going to ask that maybe we could do what we've done for other people, which is say some prayers and have Amy lead it, because she does such a fantastic job of that. And she won't stand up here and talk about lesbians and illegal immigrants when she gives us the benediction, unlike some people who did that to Donald Trump the other day. Not that she would do it, but her benedictions are spot on and fantastic. So we're going to let her do that. And just know that I love this kid a lot, and I want to get him on the show because he's a brilliant person. There is a 90% survival rate on this. It is in his lymph nodes. It is stage 2. It is not in any of his organs, thank God. He'll start chemo.
Is it leukemia now? Like, did it transmorph into leukemia? Because a lot of times with testicular cancer, it comes back as leukemia, blood, not the main one, but like a secondary leukemia. Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that question, but I do know that it's a 90% survival rate. And if there's anyone who can do it, it's this kid. He is super, super in shape. He's athletic, he's young, and he's got a lot to live for. And he's got a significant other who is amazing. She's waiting for him, and that would get me just about through anything, knowing that Olivia is at the end waiting. So I'll fight through anything for that. So, but anyway, I would love if Amy could kind of lead us through that prayer for R3, and that would be awesome. So
yeah. So
you ready?
I'm Catholic, so yeah, I'm Catholic. I always do the sign of the cross, but
Oh shit.
Sorry, dear Lord, we first want to just give you thanks and praise for bringing us all together tonight to say this prayer for Randy R3, and we do ask that you please heal him and his body. Keep him strong throughout this process, this fight. We know that he is a fighter and has the soul and heart to do this. So we just ask you to continue to give him the strength that he needs to fight this cancer. Please give his doctors, caregivers, nurses, to everyone who's rallying around him, the ability to support and take care of him and just heal him. And we say this in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 He was E's age when we first met him.
Never have to ask. Yeah, he, I remember a story with R3 that he probably won't. And it was the first time we met. And he was young.
He was E's age.
Yeah. And he was a young boy. And we had dinner and everything. But the first time I was really at the house, he was a little older than that. I want to say he was probably 12 or 13. And I was reading the paper, sitting down in my uncle's chair. And you got to understand, Grandpa Randy and Uncle Randy, his son, kind of cut from the old school, cut a switch off of a tree and, bend over and grab your ankles type of parenting. And R3 had a toy gun. He kept pointing at my face this close. And I'm like, hey, kid, knock it off. Stop doing it. First of all, I don't like guns pointed at me, whether they're toys or not. So I'm like, this is a gun household. And my kids were younger.
Actually, I was pregnant with E, I think.
Yeah, you were pregnant with E at the time.
Yeah.
So very young, my children. And I had a daughter. So I hadn't gotten used to boys yet. And knowing that boys were not going to be my strong point when I started. Now, very strong father. But I didn't want to be my dad. But he kept doing it. Pop, 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 pop. And kid, get that damn gun out of my face. And I'd do it again. He would push through the paper. And so he's old enough. It's not like he's 4. Like if he's 4, I'm going to be like, oh, play dead.
No, he's 11.
He's 11 or 12 years old. And I'm like, dude, get the damn gun out of my face. So then he started doing it to Olivia. And then he started doing it to Hayden. And then finally he did it again. And he goes, pop, pop, pop. And he was always a nice kid, but he was just a little wild when he was younger. And I go, okay, that's the last time I tell you, keep that gun in my face. He's like, what are you going to do about it? And this isn't, he's a child. But I had that gun turned around, his wrist up against his elbow, and I had him spun around. And I said, this is what I'm going to do. And put the gosh effing gun out of my face. And now you know who your uncle is. I ain't your daddy. But knock it off. I go, are we good? He goes, yes, Uncle Matt. I let him go. And he told me, you hurt me. I said, are you hurt or are you injured? He goes, I'm hurt. And I said, well, now it's a lesson. Stop putting that shit in somebody's face because somebody's going to tell you one day to knock it off. And I thought about that day for a long time. And I was like, would this kid ever just stay away because he was like, Uncle Matt's a horrible human being. This kid is so freaking cool. And I don't think that he has wonderful parents, amazing parents. And if they saw him doing that, they would have set him straight. And little Randy would have jumped up and been like, R3, get your ass over here. But they weren't in the room. And I thought about that day. And he still calls me Uncle Matt. I mean, he's an adult now. And he has no right to be as cool and kind and loving to me as he is, because I've only been in his life in very small increments, but he has gotten to know me through the show and watches. And I love him so much. And, this isn't somebody who I'm willing to lose in my life. So God and I are going to have a conversation and we're going to negotiate some things. And I would more than happy to sell my own soul to find a way to get this kid to live a full life, because he's going to do amazing things. So it's just very emotional to me. Yeah.
I'll just suggest this. First of all, I will start praying with my other prayer list of people. So I will add him to my prayer list. I just read the book of Job. If you haven't, read it again.
It's been a while.
It's just such a good story. And I think it's underrated. I don't think it gets the hype it should, because it is Job is like the most amazing person, but has like every horrible thing thrown at him and he never strays, and he is finally rewarded. But it's I don't know, it's one of my favorites of the Bible. Just saying.
I've needed to pick it up for a while. Thank you for the recommendation. Caller, where are you from?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. What's going on in North Carolina?
Not Joseph.
It's not Joseph.
It's not Joseph. So it's Kevin. Hey, Kevin, how you doing, buddy? No, what?
You're close, Matthew. It's Frank.
I know it's Frank. I was teasing you. What do you want to talk about, brother?
Hey, dude, I got to tell you something. Listening to about R3 and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know where I picked this up, but bendazole and ivermectin cures cancer.
Yeah, I've heard those things. People, trust me when I say this. His oncologists are incredible. This family is very well known. They're connected to the Cancer Research Center and UCLA and all this other stuff. They've got all the pull.
They've got a lot of connections.
Yeah, they're very well known.
They actually managed to get a piece of one of the World Trade Centers, and they turned it into a big memorial in between the police department and the fire department.
Yeah, and
awesome.
I think, listen, the doctors are like, we got this. Like, they're just like, we've got this. Like, if this 90%, and with this kid's health and his energy and his athleticism, we're we can't say it's a sure thing, but we feel very good about this. But Frank, I think they're looking at everything, and I think that they have a fantastic plan. And I will tell you, the Spears and the Raymonds, we are excellent at working the plan, working the problem. It's what we do. And when we have a plan, we execute. So thanks, Frank. I appreciate it, man. It was emotional to see a notification about my uncle, who I hadn't seen any notification like that, and then literally to hear about his grandson. It's kind of hard for people to not have faith that there's something else out there, because that is ridiculous. Olivia and I were talking about the odds of that happening at that specific time. And I have no reason to bullshit you. Seconds after the notification came up, I get notification, Hayden, run upstairs. R3 says he has cancer on Instagram. And I'm like, it's just, we get the things we need. And so I called R3, left him a message, and I just said, buddy, I thought that was for me to handle what I was about to hear about you, but honestly, I think it's for you to know that he's watching you. And he knew that I would call and tell you this. I don't want to get all fucking, but that to me is what it feels like. And I always know, because you guys know me, when I'm on the right track, I always get goosebumps and I get my hair standing up. Anyone who's watched the show knows that. And I'll be like, dude, I know I'm right, because if you look right now, I mean, my hair.
Holy Spirit. It's the Holy
when
Spirit. That's literally what it is.
I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you what, it helps
Spirit.
me believe in something. You know what I mean?
It's the Holy Spirit.
Well, if that's what it feels
Okay.
like and that's what it is, then damn it, I'm bought in. Go ahead, Frank.
Hey, man, all I wanted to do was call, and I'm not a doctor by any stretch of the imagination, but I heard about this, and you know what? Now I remember what it was. It was Mel Gibson.
Yep.
On the podcast
Joe Rogan.
with Joe Rogan.
Yes,
and
sir.
he was
I
talking
saw
about 4 friends or 3 friends of his that had cancer, and they went through this protocol. So, hey, all I'm trying to, and I don't want to interfere with your family, man. That's the furthest thing I want to do. If you got this handled, I trust you more than anybody that I know. I know that you've got this thing. I just want everything to be good for R3, and he's in my prayers, and I want you to know that. And Olivia and Amy, I love both of you on either side of Matthew. What great bookends. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, I love being in the middle.
Thanks, Frank.
Sorry, Frank. I got to smile a little bit. I love you, buddy.
Man.
And never apologize, because you're part of the family. I mean, you guys are, I spend more time with you than I spend with just about anybody. So, I mean, it's crazy. We spend, 15, 20 hours a week together. That's a lot. That's a lot of time. Sometimes that's more than I see my own wife. Unless she's
I don't
snoring.
miss any shows. I got to tell you, I don't miss a show. And if I happen to be in a situation where I can't watch you at night, I will pick you up during the day, first thing. So I'm always there with you. I want you to know that. And
I know that.
Anything
I
I
believe
can ever
that.
do for you guys,
You thank you, Frank. We love you, buddy. Thanks for calling in and giving us that support. See ya, pal.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Frank. Yeah.
Glenn just said there were some Raymond's up here in Bishop a few years ago.
I saw that.
They had Raymond's Deli on Main Street in the vicinity of where grandparents had a store you were trying to find out about.
So Bishop, California has a long history with the Spears. Now, my family comes over from Germany, and they second generation, first generation Germans. So they opened up a candy shop, and the Spears, I'm talking like pulled taffy and candy apples and caramel apples and peppermint bark and everlasting gobstoppers, and they created all these great candies. And that's where my father learned how to make candy, and he would make candy from scratch and fudge and everything else. And they were in Bishop, and they were very well known. And they had a store right next to the Lowry's Burger place. And so when I found out that Glenn and others were in Bishop, I said, hey, are they still there? The Spears are, like, I'm the last one. Now Ethan is the last one. There are no more Spear boys.
Yep, he's it.
So we're pretty much it. And thank you, PA281FR, for subscribing. So the line, and there's other Spears, but there's no boys. So Ethan's going to have to do a lot. I'm telling him to marry a Latin Catholic.
That's what I told him.
So as long as he marries a Latin Catholic,
Absolutely.
bro, use condoms, get married, then don't use them anymore. But anyway, so
I have lots of boys.
I've taken up too much of the show, and I appreciate you guys giving me that time. But I know he'll listen. I know his mom listens. I just love them dearly, and I don't love people enough. So when I do, there's plenty to go around, and I'd walk through walls for this kid. But I truly believe that everyone says it's a sign. I believe that it's a sign, 100%. I don't know what's happening to our window, but anyway, I believe it's a sign of some sort. People say it's the Holy Spirit. That's fine. All I know is that it just was a very interesting thing, and I've seen signs before. So it's not like I ignore them. And the more I see it, the more I flirt with the idea of what's next. Liv, you had some news you wanted to give, and I'm so sorry for taking so much time.
So first, we have a brand new listener on YouTube, Electric Eccentrics, just popped on.
Electric
And
Eccentrics.
yes, so just
Like that
wanted
name.
to
That's cool.
welcome
Welcome.
you, Electric.
Welcome.
Yeah.
And hope you enjoy the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, I know some people have reached out. My friend, her daughter Natalie, that I talked about on the show, a little over a month ago. And we also had prayer people have reached out. She actually had her final surgery 5 days ago, and she turned a corner yesterday morning, and she's going
That's
home.
great.
And it turns out she is doing great from the surgery. My friend said she had her old smile back. She seemed very upbeat and positive yesterday morning when she woke up. And so it sounds like she's doing well. I reached out to my friend Kristen to see how she's doing at home. I haven't heard back, but I just thought I would bring it up because I know people have messaged me and asked. And so thank you everyone for your prayers for her. So
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's all. That is wonderful to hear.
So good to know that that people are doing well. I will keep you up to date. I'm hoping to have R3 on the show at some point. He's amazing. He's a good kid. Very, very smart. You'll love him. Amy,
Yeah, he
did
is.
you have anything you wanted to share? I mean, we've basically unzipped our flies for the last 40 minutes.
No, I do, but not. I don't know. I've had a tough a week, I guess I should say. I will share something.
Okay.
I won't share anything, but I will tell everybody to please just, also people who are praying, keep my family prayers right now, please. I'll just say that. Yeah. So.
we need to talk off the show.
No, it's everything's fine. Like we're fine. It's just, more of the same that I've been through. It's
Oh.
just a lot. It's just a lot.
Are
And
you
I'm just,
serious?
What a douchebag.
I'm so serious. And I would love to share a story that just happened, but and I feel like I could because I am never in the wrong. And I feel like I've been proven over time and time again. And every judge is always sided with me. And I'm just sick and tired of this. But my kids might watch this one day, and I don't want them to ever like think that I'm
Yeah.
the evil one, because I'm not.
I don't think
So,
that's possible. Amy, I don't think that's possible.
I hope not. You never know. Parents
Well-
always hate their moms. I mean, we get blamed for every freaking thing wrong with everybody. It's always the mom's fault. It's like we fucking grew you in our bodies and raised you, you little heathens.
Yes.
Suck it up, Buttercup. I'm kidding.
No,
I'm totally kidding.
I have to call my mom now. Mom, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's a lie, though. She deserves it. Bobby,
Oh, thank you, Bobby.
She
Thank you.
says, Junior, the cat, approves of the blanket. Bobby, you got your blanket.
Aw.
That's wonderful to see.
I want to see it. I haven't seen it yet. I want to see the blanket. I haven't seen it.
A lot of them are ordered. The Canucks have put a port tax on it for Mel and held it, so she has to get it out of Hawk and
Are you
blackmail.
serious? I was wondering what was going on with
That's
that.
what they do. Listen, we have so much to cover. So I quickly. Constitution of the United States of America, one of the most important documents, and 144 pages, all leather bound by the same people that make the Smithsonian and Library of Congress books that you see in D.C. with the Constitution. Our documents of freedom are all provided by the Arcadia Publishing. We're the only places you can get it. But this book is brand new. Absolutely not even. I mean, it's if you smelled it, it's fresh off the presses. And we were one of the only places that actually have it. You can't buy it in D.C. right now yet, but it comes with a photograph of the Constitution of the United States. It also has biographies in the back of all the framers, tells you all their stories, shows you their picture. 144 pages, leather bound, and available at thedon'tunfriendme.com. So if you would not mind, go to thedumshow.com. Thank you for my downvote person. You hit the downvote, not the upvote. You know who you are. You do it every show. Please, your little fingers need to go ahead and focus on the upvote. So take it off and then put it back on, which happens every single night. But you can get it at thedumshow.com.
Hey, before we go any further, there was Still Point wants you to take a poll on how many people would be willing to come here or would want to show up in Virginia if they came up here, either this spring or this summer.
I think you just did it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so everyone let us know.
If you would come to Virginia, if Still Point would put on, and we pay for the venue, we'll do it. We'll do it at one of the
So-
breweries.
You know, my connection is selling the land. I'm sure you heard. It's been big news here. So
I didn't hear.
No,
yeah,
no.
he's moving to North Carolina. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Selling. I think he's still gonna do the brewery thing, but from there. Yeah,
Well,
Who?
his name is he owns One Family Brewing, and he owns
Okay.
like I don't know how many acres. It's a lot. By the new fire department here in Lovettsville, and their family is moving. Their kids are grown up. They're in college now and in the military, and so they're moving, and they're gonna sell their land. And they're just the
Well,
nicest family. Like they're
they're awesome.
wonderful people. Yeah,
They're
amazing
awesome,
people.
and so is their
Yeah.
brewery. They have Flags of Valor stuff, and I had a chance to meet them at Flags of Valor, but haven't
Yeah.
had that relationship. Local Prepper says, I'm in VA. What's this about? There's a band who does our music called Still Point, and they are amazing. They've been with us for 4 years. And what's up at Olivia Spear? Local Prepper says.
He said, I'm in
Local prepper.
Virginia.
I
What's
think
this
I know
about?
that person. I don't know who they are, but I know them
A
somehow.
YouTube
I
account.
know you.
It's a YouTube account, and
They're in
sounds,
Virginia, so.
sounds familiar to me as well.
Are they in Roanoke or something, or Virginia Beach? I feel like I know who that person is. Trying to
If you are, let
place
Amy know.
them.
But to answer you, what it's about is that Still Point's talking about coming up here from Georgia and putting on a summer show. And we're thinking if we can get all the Dumb Nation, anybody who wants to come out to Virginia can do that. And I think it would be awesome. And we can all meet, get some barbecue, get some beer, have Still Point do a show and get together and have like a little mini conference. So yeah, I think you do have a channel. Because I've seen it somewhere before. But
Eastern
either way,
Shore.
Yeah.
Eastern Shore is where he's.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay.
I
So
don't know. Where's Virginia Eastern Shore? Just
it's
wow.
it's all Virginia. I mean, it's Delmarva, right? So anyway, we're in Virginia too. We're in Loudoun County. So anyway, let's get to the show. We will have a little extra overtime tonight, I'm sure. Olivia has all donations. You go to thedumbshow.com to donate. We would appreciate that. We are funded by y'all. So if you have the ability, and remember, don't do it if you guys are trying to pay your rent and you're trying to make ends meet. This shouldn't be a feel bad thing. It's a feel good thing. And if it's your first time watching the show, maybe you just watch it tonight and maybe hit like and share. And if you've watched it several times, we'd love a donation. Helps us out if you can do that. I look at it this way. We're paying like $19 a month for Netflix, and we maybe watch 3 or 4 movies. I spend more time on this. So if you find Netflix to be a benefit and you watch 1 or 2 movies a month and you pay $19.99, but you watch us, 10, 15 hours a week, maybe. You know what I mean? All right, let's get to it. We got a huge night.
Before we get to it, I'm sorry.
Oh,
really quick,
son of a bitch.
I want to derail it again. Thank you so much, Matt. That was amazing.
Also,
But really
congrats.
quick,
He started his new job today.
Wait,
oh,
I'm so
congrats,
confused.
Matt. Thank you.
What the hell? What?
Matt Howitt started his
Okay,
new job today.
let's do this. Nothing
awesome.
but good vibes, Matt says.
That's awesome.
4169. Thank you, Maddie. We love you,
Thank
buddy.
you.
Go ahead, Ames.
Really quick, I just want to thank you so much for just indulging my daughter, because she has this voice she does, and I don't know how long it was, like months ago. I was like, you should do the snap into the Wimkin voice for us. And so we talk about it often. And then finally she's like, can I do it tonight? I was like, yeah. So I just recorded my phone camera really quickly the other day, and she just does that little voice. She's like,
That's
I just
awesome.
want to be on your show so badly. And I'm like, that's
I would love.
perfect.
Listen,
Yeah.
we should do a Hayden, Ethan, and
We should.
get them together.
Oh, that would be a
We
fun
should.
show.
Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
awesome?
Yeah.
And they could do something together.
I'll bring them over to your house though, because I think if they're together, it's better to have that
I
conversation.
think it would be
My kids are
amazing to
younger.
do a show with all the
Yeah.
kids. And everyone's like, don't put your kids online. Don't tread on my kids, and it won't be a problem for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, local prepper subbed. Honey, do me a favor on YouTube if you have a chance, either write it down or head on over there and sub to his page too. Not that we're a big influencer on YouTube, but we've got some poll on Facebook. So Prepper, if you've got Facebook, let us know. We can boost you up a little bit.
I think
Okay,
he's a TikToker. I think that's where I know him
is he?
from.
Yeah, we
I
don't.
think
They
so.
banned 135,000 followers in 72 hours, and then they banned me. Matt, do you have a shed I could sleep in if I go to the concert? Trust me when I say this, we will find room for everybody. Okay,
Yeah.
This is Virginia, and if it's summer, dude, we'll pop some tents up my backyard. I can put like 40 tents in my backyard. We will.
Yeah, we got a half acre.
We'll do it right. We'll do it. It's not huge, but it's big enough for a shit ton of tents. Okay, can we do the show?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So We will be on extra overtime tonight because I took a lot of time. I'm going to start off with something that I didn't think I was going to start off with. Jacksonville deputy Mindy Caldwell shoots Jason Arrington with his own concealed carry handgun. Looks like somebody says a Glock 29. I don't trust people when they're wrong. While attempting to disarm him. Now, if you pull a Glock out of somebody's waist, first of all, you shouldn't front carry. Don't front carry. There's nothing, you can take it in the glutes, but you don't want to take it in the balls. Don't front carry. Now,
Even
if
for
you're
women? Do you feel that way for women too?
I don't think anyone should front carry. I think
Even if you're like even in like the bra like area, no?
No, I would side carry on everything. I would thank you so much,
Kevin.
Kevster. I side carry and back carry. And the reason why I back carry is because I don't want anyone seeing what I'm doing until the last possible moment. And I can turn my body to the side and still draw my weapon. But I'm prolific at a back carry. But I usually carry like front side, like hip. And but I don't keep one in the chamber. A lot of people are like, you have to keep one in the chamber. First of all, my draw is designed to rack around at the same time that I draw. There's no slowdown. Like, it's one fluid motion. So when I pull, I immediately rack and come back and get in a position. And it's going to be a fraction of a second. And people are like, in a fraction of a second in a firefight. Dude, if I need 0.2 of a second in a firefight, I'm probably already done. This person's going to whoop my ass. So I don't rack around for safety because I have children and I don't like carry with a live round. And that's just me. And firearms instructors, and I know plenty of operators who are the exact same way as me. The process of their draw and racking around is almost beneficial to muscle retention and getting both hands working and coordinating together. It's just, I don't know. It works for me. But this video is interesting because this just goes back to the adage of the cops need more training. And they're bad at it. And the things that I keep seeing, these just stupid choices that they make. Let's watch the video first, and then you guys can tell me what you think. Let me switch the audio. All right.
Shit. You okay? I appreciate it, man. Me and Bird. Oh, yeah. Shit. You okay?
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Just put your hands on the top of the vehicle for me. I appreciate it, man. Me and Bird.
So, first of all, the biggest issue I have here is why are you disarming a concealed carry as an officer? Unless you are serving some sort of warrant or some sort of felony or bench warrant, there is no reason to disarm this guy. And it doesn't look like they are going to arrest him. It looks like they're having him exit the vehicle to disarm him. Now, if he has a concealed carry and he's not licensed, that is completely understood. But if he's licensed, I have never had an officer tell me to hand over my firearm or exit the vehicle so they could confiscate my firearm. It is always the following. You're absolutely fine. Just don't go and grab for it, please. And keep your hands where I can see them. And that's it. So that's number one. Number two is the first thing you should do when acquiring a firearm is to ensure that you understand if it's loaded or it's not, or it's unloaded. And in no way, shape, or form do they ask that question. Second is she is fumbling around in his waistband for the firearm. And that's a no-no. And when she grabs it, she does a full grip. And the 2-finger rule is usually there for the safety of the person and the safety of the officer. But I would never remove a loaded firearm as she does, which is literally fumbling around in the dark. And what she does is she grabs it and she obviously goes into the trigger guard and pulls the trigger and ejects the round into the guy's.
Which, can I ask a quick question? This is in
Yeah.
Florida, correct? I haven't seen this, but I think at least here in the state of Virginia, unless there is no time and no other option, you have to wait for your respective gender. Now that we have two definitive genders, a
Right.
man can search a man and a woman can only search a woman. So they might have to wait for a female police officer to be on site to search a woman. They can detain you and keep you, at gunpoint if they need to, if you're a woman, but they have to wait for a female cop to come, unless there's like extenuating circumstances, which are like
Right.
very extreme. So it's odd to see a woman searching a man because I don't know if that's how it is in Florida or not, but here in Virginia,
It's just weird
that ain't
having
happening.
an officer disarm. Because here's the thing. I have had officers approach me concealed carry, and before they even approach my car, they know I'm concealed carry. The moment that they run my plate, they run my driver's license, owner of the car, and they see that I have a CDL.
Thank you, Frank.
Or not a CDL, but I have a CCL.
Thank you, Frank.
Hey, Frank.
thanks,
Thanks,
Frank.
Bubba. So they know. And honestly, they visibly relax. Cops know, because to get a concealed carry, you have to have an impeccable record. Okay? An impeccable record. So here's the rest. I believe he did consent to search electric.
You okay? Put the gun down. Put the gun down. You okay? No. Hey, rescue 1068. Let's go.
Where'd he get shot at?
Looks like right above the knee.
Oh, jeez.
Gosh.
It's
Oh,
not a good, not smart.
Walk with
So they know this guy's concealed carry. She lays the gun on the ground, which means that it's no threat, right? That he was never a threat. You don't lay the firearm on the ground. It's not cleared. She hasn't cleared the firearm in any way, shape, or form. And if this guy decides to go ahead and seek retribution for that, we don't know his state of mind. You should have cleared that firearm immediately and secured it as evidence. You don't drop it right where it's at. The whole point of you taking it was to make sure you had a safe scenario. How do you think he's feeling now that he's shot? Okay? You don't know, but you have to assume. So if you're going to do this, what the hell are you doing leaving a firearm on the ground that obviously has a chambered round in it? And she dropped it. Now, a Glock isn't going to go off with a drop, even with a chambered round. The mechanics, there's 3 fail-safes in a Glock. It doesn't matter. Here's the rest.
walk with me.
Now he walks him over the
let's
weapon.
go for a walk.
Let's
Oh my gosh, how is he supposed to walk?
You don't have a
After being
knee.
shot in the leg.
It's not funny, but this is like comical. Like this is, I would be like, fuck you, call me an ambulance.
Yeah, and what are these people doing? Like seriously, this guy has his hand on his firearm. Why don't you go
What
secure
county
the
is
fucking?
this?
I have no idea. I don't
Okay.
know. I didn't look.
gotta
I
ask
just
my
thought
mom
I'd
and
show
dad.
it to you. Here's the rest.
Great.
He walks over the firearm. He could have grabbed it and just pop up. I mean, seriously.
Sit down.
It's kind of hard to sit down when I can't engage my frickin' traps and my thighs and my hammy.
Sit down.
They're so casual. You could die from that, literally,
Yeah.
if it hits an artery.
Well, absolutely. You have a femoral
You have
artery
a main
in your
artery.
leg.
Yes. You
Femoral
have two.
artery is in your leg. Yeah.
And
I
you have
know.
another one that you can bleed out within like 12 minutes. So like they're not
Less than
doing
that.
anything. Yes. I think it's 8. Is it 8 minutes or I don't like.
It's even
There's
less than
two
that.
main
I've
arteries.
seen if you can't pinch off a femoral artery, you can die within minutes. Like minutes.
Yeah.
I've seen guys take rounds in the leg.
Poor
and-
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not good. All right.
But they're
here's the
just
rest.
like, here, let's walk. Oh my gosh. I have so many problems with this. Sorry. This is
Oh,
crazy.
it is unbelievably unsat.
Pistol on him, so. Where's your pistol at? On my side. Okay. So, hands on top of the vehicle for me.
That's a good carry. It's a good carry. I wouldn't carry it
See,
in
look
loose
how she's
pants.
grabbing it.
Oh, I know. Well, no, she's doing it right. You secure it with one hand and keep your. I wouldn't put my fingers under the barrel, but
Right.
2 fingers here. She's 2 fingers on the handle. This is correct, but wait. Boom. This is the problem.
Even
Yep,
our
not
children know not to grab a gun like that.
The moment that she put her fingers off the handle in a 2-finger grip, she now has an index finger, which is in prime position. That it is okay. Let me show you what happens here.
This is when we need Tina.
Tina's here.
Is she?
Tina knows I know what I'm talking about. So if you The moment that she comes in and grabs the weapon, she was 2 fingers. But the problem with that 2-finger carry is that if you look at this, now I have an outside carry, but this goes in the small of my back. So a little bit different. So what she was faced is when you have it, and I do it, I keep this finger completely off the trigger. I loosen, and then I switch to a 2-finger pull if I'm a police officer. So she should have been. But the problem is that these cases, they grip now. They grip really well, especially mine. Mine grips extremely well. So all you do is put your thumb on the long side, and you put your 2 fingers on the very end and push down on the casing to get it loose, and then a 2-finger pull. It's not what she did. She got a full grip and this index finger, and she put this finger like this, I guarantee it, and her thumb like this, and pushed at the same time. And then when she brought her finger down, she is directly on the trigger.
Did she shoot her own finger from where it was at before?
No, because she changed her hand. Look see where her hand's at? She has her hand inverted, but her thumb is pushing and this finger is pushing, and it slips on here. And when she went back to engage, boom, she pulls the trigger.
Yeah, she should have just removed the whole holster.
And that is negligent discharge, right? So that it's not an accident. It's negligence. You don't know how to handle the firearm. You handled the firearm, and you always keep it out of the trigger guard. You never put your finger in the trigger guard when you're pulling. And that is why if a person's in a holster, you leave the gun in the holster and you remove the holster itself. Leave it in. Because once you're screwing around and it's loaded, you are grabbing with an opposite hand on a firearm where you cannot see, and you're going to have to lift that sucker out, and you're going to have to grip the handle. So by her doing this, she puts her finger in a perfect place. Now watch what happens. Here's the rest.
Put the gun down. Put it down. You okay?
Just throws it to the ground.
Are you okay? No, I'm not okay. I just got shot.
Yeah. So let's slow-mo this.
I hope this guy sues for everything. He
So
is like,
at first
horrible.
At first she does it right. She grabs the buckle, the clasp, and tries to lift it so then she can 2-finger lift. She should have done is put 1 finger underneath the grip and 1 on the holster and lift it like that, but she didn't do that. So she's getting stuck. She can't, so she immediately frickin' pause. And when she does, she grips it, she slips a finger into the trigger guard when it comes out of the case and shoots him. That's Tina and I said the same thing. Tina says there is no need to have him remove it if he's permitted. There is no reason. You are just asking for negligent discharge. You're asking for something to go wrong. Your partner who doesn't hear, or some uppity second detail is behind, and this guy pulls a firearm because gun. You never tell someone, because the first thing you do is like, I'm going to need to, secure your firearm. Oh, really? I'll go. Boom. You don't do it. Just like you don't pull out your gun and show it to a cop. 2 fingers, driver's license, and CCL, and you hands at 11 and 2, 10 and 2, and fingers out the window. Here's my driver's license, and here's my concealed carry. First question, are you carrying right now and is in your possession? Yes. Where is it? It's under my seat. Good. Leave your hands at 10 and 2. Don't go and grab for it. We don't have a problem. Or it's on my hip. Fair enough. Please don't go ahead and reach for your hip. If your wallet is in your back pocket, do you have your insurance? Is it close to you? It's actually in my 2 fingers. Fine. Thank you so much. Grab it. He'll go back to the vehicle and he'll come back and talk to you. If it's in your glove box, what's he going to say to you? You don't reach for it, folks. You need my insurance, sir. It is in the glove box. I couldn't get it by the time you came to the car. That's fine. Where's the firearm? It's to my side. Great. What I'd love for you to do, please, is keep your hand on the wheel, reach over and unsecure or unlatch your glove box and grab your insurance if you can. If not, stay right here. Don't worry about it. We'll get it back in a second. If you don't know how to do those type of things, that's your responsibility. But if you are an officer and you don't know how to do those things, you are shitty at your job. And I don't mean to be rude to a cop, but that whole thing was handled like a giant shit show. Amy, your thoughts?
I mean, we all know I'm very huge supporter of our police officers, but this woman should lose her job, honestly. Like she should not, or maybe she needs has a desk job. Maybe she's not in the field anymore. She needs to be
Dispatch.
relocated. Yeah, something where she can
Donut
handle.
getter. Donut getter.
Correct. And now that we are back to two genders in our society, I do think that women police officers should not be doing certain things in the field. Some of them are capable. I don't know if she is or not, but
She's not.
clearly by this, I think she should either lose her job, or be reassigned to a job that does not interact with people who could be carrying a concealed carry weapon. I think this man is entitled to a life of luxury and comfort for the rest of his life with his family.
Oh, yeah. He's going to get paid.
And yes, and I think he deserves that. And I truly believe that. Like I don't know why they pulled him over, but the fact that a cop shot him with his own firearm and they knew it was concealed carry, they
Right.
couldn't disarm him properly. This is just a shit show. And I love Florida because it's just a freaking mess there. My parents live there, so I could talk shit about it. It's horrible. So what county is this? This is great. Not great. I feel bad for this man, but this is horrible. But also
you don't blame
great.
one cop. You don't blame one cop and everything. But this is a slew of videos. Now, somebody just said, Electric just said, hey, I've seen plenty of people disarm somebody. Right. But that's
Sure.
usually when they're out of the vehicle and there's a reason to disarm. Okay. That's because they have to serve a warrant. That's because that person has a serious, if maybe they were going 50 miles over, they're going to jail. There's a reason to disarm, or the car is reported stolen. You don't know who that person is, right? So there's a lot of reasons, but you always have backup. You have one guy who has the guy up against the car. You have another guy ready to assist. And then you have a person who is going to get the firearm. All three of those things have to take place because you need a person to secure the asset, a person to secure the firearm, and a person there to literally drop the hammer on that guy if he goes for his gun. They did not have redundancies in place. Nobody was there backing each other up. It was just a shit show. And we saw the same thing when Trump, the assassination attempt, is just people not doing their job. They're not, you got to be shields up at that point. You got to be frosty. You got to know the mechanics of your training. And these cops don't get that. They get the academy at best, and then they get one possibly weekend, a quarter at the range. It's not enough. Liv, any thoughts on this shit show?
Yeah, I think that some money needs to be put back into police departments for training.
Right.
After the whole
Yeah.
defund the police, they haven't been trained properly. These are rookies and that haven't gone through the process of what they need to do.
Right.
What they need to know to be out on the job. And that was stupid of this police officer, but I don't blame her wholly.
Right.
I blame the movement and I blame the police departments. And it's honestly, it's not even the police departments. It's the whole movement of defund the police. They don't have what they need. They don't have the money. They don't have the funding. They don't have the facilities anymore to train these police officers. And some money needs to be pumped back into all the departments across the nation. And what I think she definitely needs to be disciplinary action. I don't think she should be suspended without pay. I think she needs to ride a desk and she needs to go through some serious training. And I think they need to pull all the rookies, if they can, and put them back into a strenuous training program. Yeah. And if you can't disarm a person correctly and then do correct with the gun afterwards, then yeah, they're ridiculous. All of our police officers, they need better training.
Well, if you can't handle somebody else's firearm, I certainly am not confident you can handle your own.
Yeah, I mean,
and we've seen this. We've seen female officers just unload like 3 or 4 magazines and reload, and you're just like, holy shit! Your feet position are all wrong. Your shoulders are up. You're locking your elbows. I mean, you're dropping your frickin' muzzle, or you're rising up to shoot birds. I mean, they just don't have the training. And what happens is you get these amazing situations where adrenaline is going, your heart's going 1,000 miles an hour, your blood pressure's up, and you're getting tunnel vision. and you don't know how to handle high stress environments. And it can be trained, but it's only trained through muscle memory and repetition. And I'm sorry, but this is why women in combat I don't agree with. And I don't agree with women in the field tackling guys that are 6'7". Go ahead.
I'm with you. And it was there on this show or was in one of the police trainings that I did. There was a video of a woman who was a police officer. She had pulled someone over and they had pulled their weapon out. And I think it was a police training video or police training that we did as a citizens police person, not a cop at all. I don't pretend to be, and I'm not, I would never qualify for
No,
one.
but you're a citizen on patrol. I saw you do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I did do it. I did the Citizens Police Academy, which was awesome and I highly recommend. But it was a police training video where it was a woman police officer. She had pulled someone over. They had drawn their weapon. They had a weapon in their door and they had drawn their weapon and pulled. And she was the post interview. She thought she had fired her weapon like 30 times. She was like, I think I reloaded twice. And they're like, no, you shot twice. That was it. Because we were talking about like memory and what you witnessed.
Right.
It's a
Yeah,
call
you
it
don't
perception
remember.
thing. But this person literally could have killed her. Like the bullet grazed her. Like it literally like pierced her skin, but grazed her head. And she had no idea. Like she had no clue that she was even shot. Like she had been shot somewhere else too, I believe. It was just crazy. And I agree, like women, our reaction time is different than a men's. That's like a proven scientific thing. There are women who are outliers. Sure, we are different. Our body structure is different, obviously. I mean, we are very good at shooting as like targets more naturally than men, but not in a high pressure situation. We deal with things differently. I'm not saying that there's women who are phenomenal cops, but
No, it's the exception.
by and
not the
large, I
rule.
agree with you.
It's
Yeah.
not personal.
Yes, that's
It's not-
exactly. I agree
personal.
with you. Yeah, it's
Like,
not
there's
personal.
some
I don't want to
people
be
in
a
the
cop. Like, yeah.
Yeah. There's people in the IDF females who I served with, and I know their capabilities, but it's few and far between. We don't have the mentality in the United States. Women aren't brought up as warriors. Most of them aren't even brought up as hunters. Let's just be
They're
honest.
all
Yes, there's
freaking princesses now. IG,
plenty of
Instagram
women.
people.
I know,
like we gotta
I
have
know.
we gotta do the
I know, but
sourdough
let me
bread.
get this out
like,
because people are going to hit me in the comments. Oh, I'm a hunter. Okay, stop it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. It's just there's some basics that need to take place, and it's a mentality. But I'm sorry, I don't need a woman backing me up who's 5'6" and 130 pounds. I need a guy who's my size. I need 6'4", 240, 230, somebody who's physically fit, who can take down that threat that I can't. Because I'm telling you, you're facing guys who are drugged out. You're facing guys who are they have a reason not to go to jail. And your whole sentiment is for, $50,000, $60,000 a year. You're going to put your life on the line for this thug who's going to be out in 5 minutes. Fuck you very much.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to win that fight because my overall kinetic response is this really worth it? And this guy's thinking, I'm going to kill this cop because I'm not going back to the clink. Two very different. It's like fighting someone who's defending their family versus fighting someone who's trying to defend a candy bar. Two very different motivations for success. Okay, we spent some time on that. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
The DUM store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUM10 to save 10%. Visit thedumshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
John Thune is saying, listen,
Wait, really quick.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, because Christine asked a question. I want to answer it. You put it up for me to answer, I'm assuming.
I did. I got to address another one by Tina. Tina's mad. I've watched thousands of videos of male cops screwing up under pressure. It's the person, not the sex. I'm not saying that. And I didn't say one had to do with other. I didn't say females aren't capable of disarming people. What I said is that if I'm in the street, I don't want a woman who's 5'6" and 130 pounds backing me up. I want the biggest, baddest son of a bitch in the world who benches 250, 260. It's the same thing with combat. I'm not saying there's not great women cops. In fact, Tina, I just told you that there are, and you're one of them. You are a well-respected person.
Exactly. He's like, "Where's Tina at?" Because
we love you.
Because we love you.
But you're the exception, not the rule. And
You're the outlier.
I've seen thousands of guys who suck at being cops too. I've seen thousands of military men who suck as well. My point is that a lot of these issues that seem to come up are basically either effeminate males or females causing the issue. I've seen a lot of these guys who are very tactical, ex-military, who don't make these stupid mistakes. Now, I'm not saying, once again, exceptions to the rule. Tina, there was no disrespect to you. You know, I love you, sister. My lady in blue. Amy, Tina said...
What?
Yeah,
oh, go ahead.
you-
I was going to say,
you want-
I have, really quickly, and I haven't read Tina's comment yet, but I have more firearms training than Jason does. Like, I have shot way more times than he has. He owns more guns than I do, but he has less training than I have. However, I would still pick him to fight over me because his instincts are better than mine, just naturally. And I'm a better shot than he is. But
She wants
as
to know
a
about
man, I
officers.
feel like he's better.
Oh,
Yes, so the inauguration day. So
I'm trying. We're already way behind.
I know.
But
So speed up.
inauguration
So
day.
anyways. So I
fewer
don't have the
officers.
exact numbers. I don't have the exact numbers. It's apologies because I've had a tough personal week, so I haven't been reaching out to my friends this week. So if you're listening, sorry everybody. From my understanding, they have fed double what they did last inauguration, so they doubled their goal. They wanted to do more, but life is life, and people donated what they donated. It was an amazing success from what I understand. I have not communicated with them, but I know it was a success. I think there was over 1,000 officers fed. There is something for the show. I don't know exactly what that is. There's some kind of award or recognition for us.
The golden dildo?
I don't know, because I've been a really bad friend to my friends this whole entire week.
You really have,
So,
and you didn't tell us
I really
what we're
have.
getting, so that's also really bad too. So you should feel bad.
know.
You should feel bad.
I have
Listen,
a lot of messages. I'm not.
I got it. We're interrupting each other tonight. I have no idea why, but I'm trying to. I'm feeling a little stressed that we literally have covered one topic, so I'm trying to move it a little forward, but also try to keep us on track. So I apologize if I seem to be pushing. Let me just get this out. I am not saying that females cannot be police officers. Okay, I believe that I have been in a situation where I have to struggle and fight for my life in a non-police situation against another male. And I am telling you that my wife would be absolutely useless in that fight. Even with hand-to-hand training through the police academy and everything else, she is not going to get that guy off of me. And I am trying to say that it scares me that a woman would have to face off against somebody on a highway with nobody else there waiting for backup as some guy decides to get out and beat the living snot out of her. I'm not saying that doesn't happen to guys too, because it does. But do we need that? Do we truly need that? It's just like the military. Do we truly need women in combat? Call me old-fashioned. But I don't want a female partner. I'm sorry. I just don't. If I was to be a cop,
they can meet the requirements that the standard man has to meet. I don't want the requirements to be lessened. If you can meet the requirements that a standard average man has to meet, then fine, if that's what you choose to do. But if they have to lower the standards, I'm with Matt on this one. I don't agree with it. I think it's wrong.
I'll take Tina because I know Tina's got my back. I'll take Mel because I know she's got my back. I know that if I'm clearing the house, I got Olivia and she's armed, she'll get my back. I know Amy's got my back. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there are certain physical requirements to the job that puts people in jeopardy. And yes, there are plenty of men who have fucked up in videos. It's not just women. My comment was as far as doing the role when it comes to the physical nature of the job. That's it. That's my point. That's all I'm saying. I know some shooters I know women actually usually make better shooters than men. They have smaller hands, they have lower torsos, there's less resistance, there's less comeback. They're accurate at what they do. I'm not worried about the shooting. I'm saying this is a training issue. This isn't a sex issue. But in a one-on-one, it's a physicality issue. And that is just a reality. Okay? Are we good? Okay. If I lost a few viewers, I'm sorry. I love you, Tina. You know I do. You're not saying anything, and you usually know that this is what makes me nervous, is because when you don't say something, I feel like I'm being put in timeout. So, moving on.
Tina knows that we love her. No, I think, I mean, she's been a long time listener. We all love Tina. We appreciate her input. And she's definitely, I mean, I don't know her personally, but from what the knowledge that she has shared on the show, she's the outlier. She is the exception to the rule from what we can tell. And
Tina says, Matt, you're a sexist dick. Wow. No, she didn't say that. I would not speak for her. So, John Thune, who I can't believe. I mean, we literally took the biggest rhinos and stuck them in leadership, from the oversight committee to the speakerships. I don't know, but I do like this. And if Republicans can continue this type of attitude, I think I'm going to be happy. Watch this, and then we'll talk about it.
I was listening to the chair of the Intelligence Committee just a moment ago talking about this nominee, and I was curious. I asked the Senator from Arkansas, chairman of the Intelligence Committee, what was the vote coming out of committee for Mr. Radcliffe?
The vote was 14-3.
Okay, so 14-3 coming out of the committee. And we've now wasted a whole day where we could have been acting on that nomination. And so really, I think the question before the House is, do we want to vote on these folks on Tuesday or vote on them on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? Because that's what we're going to do. This can be easy or this can be hard. This is a nominee that came out of the Intelligence Committee 14-3. It is a bipartisan nomination to the Central Intelligence Agency. This is about America's national security interests. And we're stalling. So that's not going to happen. We're going to file cloture on them. You can force us to staying around here, and we can vote on these things Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But we're going to vote on them. And this one shouldn't be hard, folks. I understand there are some that are going to draw some opposition from the other side of the aisle. But Democrats and Republicans, in a very big bipartisan fashion, agree that he is very qualified for this job, that is an important job to America's national security interests, and frankly, I believe we ought to fill it as soon as we possibly can. So it's going to be a big vote here on the floor. Everything we're doing right now is just stalling. And I don't know what that accomplishes for you, but we're going to be here voting on him. So
good. It's about damn time that they are saying, okay, you know what? If you don't vote, we're done. And that's the way it should be, because this is Radcliffe, for God's sake. The guy has been in the intelligence community. He's fully qualified, 100%. This isn't a difficult nomination. So Democrats are at business as usual. Have you guys seen? It literally took them one day. And now they're right back at their stupid games with Elon Musk everywhere over social media. Elon Musk with his Nazi salute. We're going to talk about it. When it comes to the court or these appointments,
I was listening to
can we imagine that this is going to get any easier? Do we see them nominating Pete Hegseth or just never saying yes? Do we say, Tulsi Gabbard, they're going to let her in, RFK? Do you guys really believe that they are going to bend? I know we don't need all their votes, but the problem is that we have Republicans who are breaking ranks and are going, Gillibrand and Murkowski and et cetera, are threatening to break ranks. And it's like, Republicans, what the fuck? Why can't you stay together and just get his cabinet passed?
There should come a time where if they stall too much, okay, fine. They're just going to be confirmed anyway. There should be a time limit on the confirmations. And that way this can't happen. I mean, they all honestly should have been confirmed by the inauguration, so he's got his cabinet.
Yeah.
That's how it should have been.
Of course,
it's not like he announced them on Friday. We've known who all of the cabinet members that he wanted to be in his cabinet for like 2.5 months now. I mean, it's not like this is a surprise. Get your shit together. Do what we voted you to do. Freaking hear the people and confirm them. I mean, the fact that Trump only has, 1 or 2 people confirmed in his cabinet right now
he's only got Secretary of State and some low cabinet positions. It is ridiculous. Yeah. Here's the video I want you to, Amy, you'll comment on after we watch it. Nope, you can't, because we have to keep it moving. But you can in 1 second, because I love you, but I want you to see this first. Fine. No, listen,
I'm not
there's
angry.
time. Good. Learn to shoot. God, I'm just kidding.
I hear Republicans claiming that my decision to ask for one day of debate on a controversial nominee to lead the CIA somehow compromises our national security. So let me say this. Spare me. 2 days ago,
Gag me with a spoon. You freaking valley, you valley girl. Spare me.
Spare me.
Oh my God.
Talk to the hand.
Listen, me and my Kmart polyester tie. Seriously, dude, you're a fucking senator. Get some suits that actually aren't made out of rayon.
Donald Trump pardoned 1,500 rioters.
Oh my God, here we go.
Including the most violent rioters who stormed this building 4 years ago.
Oh God, give me a break.
Brutally beat law enforcement over the head with poles, tried to crush the heads of Capitol Police officers, walked around here with zip ties, looking to do...
No! Not
Zip ties.
Oh my God! Zip ties!
I keep zip ties in my car, just so everybody knows.
Dude, half of the fucking gay staffers zip tie each other to the table as they're butt fucking in some of these chambers with these people. I don't mean to be graphic, but this is a true story. I'm telling you, this isn't fake. God, man, they videotaped him getting railed. It was like a prison scene.
God knows what to any Democratic congressmen or senators they found. They assembled a gallows and a noose outside the Capitol to chants of hang Mike Pence.
Beds.
And Republicans all of a sudden claim
Jesse
that law
Smollett.
and order is a priority, and we have to rush
Did they
through
say it was MAGA country too?
nominees, and yet they stand by a president who just threw law and order out the window.
No, he actually
By
executed law and order because it absolutely was in the right of, okay, Mel, seriously, can I just play the fucking video? Mel, seriously, I love you, but it's always during a video, sister. What's going on?
Where does it say in the Constitution or whatever that they have to have all these hearings to pass these people through?
It doesn't.
It does.
Yeah.
So why are we playing this game?
It's a great question. I want to do away with it. No, I think we should do away with it. I think that should be up on the ballots for next vote. I'm with you, Mel. I've said this a few weeks ago. This is not necessary. It's not constitutional, honestly. This is just complete horseshit.
Yeah. Just because it's been done in the past doesn't mean it has to continue, because this crap is just gonna, it's crap. So even if the Dems get in the next whatever, fine, give them their fucking cabinet. Just go for it. Like, have a nice day. I guarantee you the public will vote these fuckers out. Well, pardon my French, but this nonsense has got to stop. This 30 hours and all this whatever and the filibustering, it's not in the Constitution. Donald Trump is in. These are the people he picked. Let's go. Done. We're done. Off to the races. So, and the Dems can go and suck their little thumbs in the back corner and do whatever, but this nonsense has got to
Or other
stop.
things.
Or other things.
And Mike Johnson's got to stand up and go, it's not in the Constitution that we have to do any of this crap.
It is in the Constitution, Mel. It is in the Constitution.
It is?
Yes. If you guys
We have this.
if you guys would buy my fucking book, you would know.
I need to buy it because I did not know it was in the Constitution.
Hey, Mel, you're ornery tonight. You knock it off, sister. I'll put you in the corner. All right. Article 2. Yeah.
We're gonna let Mel disarm you, Matt.
Yeah,
If she can. If she can.
Gay North Dakota calling. So yeah, I got all the votes.
Did you see the meme that I put up of Donald Trump renaming the world, and on it it's they called Canada the gay North Dakota.
Gay North Dakota calling, and
so good. Listen.
I'm
let me
voicing my constitutional right, going. This is crap.
Right. Article 2. And we must go to section 2. Is everybody ready to read along with? Did everyone clause 2? Everyone get their books. The president shall nominate and by and with the advice and consent of the Senate shall appoint ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, judges of Supreme Court, and all the officers of the United States. Cabinet members fall under the category of offices of the United States, making Senate confirmation a constitutional requirement. This is based through.
I did
Hold
not
on.
know that.
I know. That's why you talk to me. This is the basis of checks and balances, merit and accountability, and transparency. Now, as most things in the Constitution of the United States, the Founding Fathers were not very fucking descriptive on what those processes were supposed to look like. And to Mel's point and Amy's point, which I completely agree with, even though they can't disarm me, is that 100% this grab ass has completely gotten out of control, where oversight has become a complete circus. It is 100% above and beyond what the Founding Fathers wanted. They wanted a systematic process of confirmation to ensure that people were not foreign assets, that they were not criminally exposed, that they were not vulnerabilities or anything to that effect. And once that was done, likable people who were of sound body and mind, they were supposed to confirm. This process is an abortion of the Constitution, but it is in the Constitution.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. What they're doing is an abortion, whatever. So, yeah. So Thune and the rest of the whatever should go and give Chucky Schumer a kick going, this is not how this is written. This is whatever. And nowhere is there 30 hours that they have to do this. That's their internal little shit that they've made up over the years and blah, whatever. It's garbage. It's garbage.
It is garbage.
Like,
I'm with you.
Ratcliffe and the rest of like Chelsea, they've already done their FBI checks. They were already in the Senate and Congress and whatever.
She's in the military, for God's sakes. She's already had an SSBI.
We're waiting for an FBI report. Whatever. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to beat my head on the table even more because this is just crap. Absolute crap. Anyways, that's my comment.
Listen, maple syrup lady. We love you. We love you. You know that.
Happy from Gay North Dakota.
Gay North Dakota's out. Goodbye, Gay North Dakota. Mello, one of our favorites. We love her. She's not mellow in any way, shape, or form, and that's why we love her. Can't disarm me, but her soft exterior and lovely voice.
She can disarm you with her wit.
Her wit. Well,
Yes.
she probably has a
And
better
I
chance
think
of this.
that Donald Trump needs to name Canada America's hat.
Because Mexico is America's
pants. I like this. I like this. Is very, very smart. I still think they're the Gay North Dakota. All right. We have so much to cover. Guys, I can't keep missing great segments because I work at this stuff. No, we're just gonna have to stay a little later. That's all I'm saying. Not too much later, but just a little bit later.
You're with 2 hours late tomorrow. It's fine.
You're with two women,
talk.
so I mean, you expect.
We talk.
You being late is not a good thing as women. Just FYI.
I'm saying school's 2 hours late tomorrow, so it's fine.
I thought we were talking about being late. And I'm like, no, that's not good either.
No.
So, I've heard that 2 times in my life. My reaction, both times, were, are you sure? All right. So here, I want to put this in context. I believe that the United States government is vitriolic. And it's toxic by design. Politics are not supposed to be play nice and everyone gets along. It is supposed to be arduous, a little vindictive, a little bit underhanded, and in the end, a lot of compromise is needed. And besides the lack of common sense and frugality that we're facing, there is a lack of accountability of epic proportions. And then there is a level of accountability that is disproportionate. And the left have demonstrated this lawfare and using the DOJ and using the state's courts to do the bidding of the federal government is completely out of control. And I will tell you that there are plenty of conservatives who were fearful for those 4 years that the Unselect Committee was on a witch hunt to treat the people who were involved in J6 to have the same fate as the citizens of the United States. And they wanted to put senators in jail. They wanted to put state legislatures in jail. They wanted to put Donald Trump in jail. They wanted to put anyone who participated in J6 in prison. And that is what Kinzinger and that is what Cheney wanted to do. What? Here is a video in regards to Goldman talking about the way he feels and his emotions. And it's about 35 seconds. I want to listen to it. Then I want to go into another video, which is going to bring all this stuff together. Here's the video.
Says to these people, it absolutely creates an emboldened and buttressed group of far-right extremists that exert and conduct political violence, and it is corrupting our system, because I know some of my colleagues are afraid right now. And if you're afraid physically or you're afraid for your family, that has an impact on how you do your job as an elected official. That is authoritarianism. That is not democracy. What do you think?
Actually, that is democracy, because that's what mob rule is. And that's why we're a republic and not a fucking democracy. We're not the Greeks. We're not the Romans. How do you guys feel about that? I mean, don't you think that's kind of rich? You're in the first 24 hours of the Trump presidency and you feel a little scared?
Oh, gee, now understand how we felt for the last 4 fucking years. Jeez.
Is that it? Amy, you got...
What's the skit? I think it's a Key and Peele skit where they're just going, or Saturday Night Live, where they're like, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah. Just
bye-bye.
Like, I won't say that I was scared during the Biden administration. I've never felt like fearful.
I was.
I will say I felt more like I had to censor myself and that I couldn't be open without always qualifying everything that I still feel that way. And I think I don't actually think it's a bad thing to constantly have to qualify myself, because there are so many sensitive Nancy losers in this world. Oh. But I'm not raising my children to be this way. We are trying to raise them with tough skin and to realize that you're not always going to get the win. You're going to have to live 4 years under a horrible regime, in my opinion, allegedly. Just saying, I learned all that from being in court so much.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, in my opinion. Those are two very important things. The way I see it is my personal opinion, the way I see it allegedly, is that the last 4 years under Biden, I was not scared, but I think our world became a disaster. And I think it brought on some horrible, horrible things that we're going to deal with the repercussions for many years to come, even after Donald Trump is no longer in office. I think Donald Trump is the perfect scapegoat, and I think he's got tough skin and can handle it. So I think this is perfect for everybody, honestly.
Do you know who you sounded like in the first 10 seconds?
I love Venn diagrams.
I do.
I really do. I love Venn diagrams. It's just something about those 3 circles and the analysis about where there is the intersection, right? Yeah, I see people that you agree with me, right?
You always do a good Kamala when she was drunk. So
I was gonna say, Jason just brought me a drink, so now I can be her for real. He's like,
you can do Kamala in a second. Or
Nancy Pelosi.
I just think this is very rich. I think it's very rich that they are going to play this "we're scared" bullshit when Republicans are not the party of violence. The Democrat Party has literally gotten.
Did you see January 6th?
That's not violence.
I'm kidding. But it's
but
they think it
is.
It
was a peaceful protest, right? Isn't that what we call it? Mostly peaceful. It was a mostly peaceful,
except for the fires during George Floyd. But that was mostly peaceful. But that was for the right reasons, so it doesn't count. And that is the problem with college.
I am now going to play a video, and I very seldom allow people to take over the rants unless it's a host. But I'm going to let Tim Pool run this one because he does it masterfully. And I've made this rant, and I've told people, listen, everyone knows that I thought J6 was one of the dumbest things that the conservative Republican movement could possibly fucking do, because we've been eating that for 4 years, when if you just would have left it alone, we could have held and strangled them with BLM, and Trump would have won. When January 6th was a bitter pill, on the balcony was a bitter pill. When he bragged about beating COVID, it didn't sit well with people who have their moms and uncles and dads and grandparents dying. That he lost a lot of clout with women at that point. But this whole J6 thing is a fucking joke, and I am so sick of it, because here's the thing. Do I think all 1,500 are innocent? No, I don't. I think all of them in some way, shape, or form did something wrong. I don't think anyone did it right. I think there's misdemeanors involved, there's felonies involved, there's stupidity involved, there's follow the leader involved, but it doesn't mean that it's not wrong, okay? But they have served their fucking time. Nobody killed anybody. And is it okay to beat up or assault a cop? No, it's not okay, but I think 4 years is enough. I think 20 years when you're in Arizona and getting assigned 22 years, yes, when all you did was say stay and keep going. I think 22 years is way too much. I think if you're a grandmother and you entered the Capitol and we're out 2 minutes later, you don't need to spend 18 months in prison. I disagree with the lawfare. I don't agree with the sentiment that you need to hold these people accountable. You need to hold them accountable, but they serve their time. And Donald Trump, I wrote an article on this, go read it. I think it's one of the best ones I've written. I'm a little biased. But you know how I feel about J6, and you know that I challenge the whole narrative that it's a setup and the FBI. Yeah, I know about Raps. I know about the FBI. I know about the bomber. I know about all the shit. I've seen all the videos. I've watched the same things you do. What I know is that I don't care how fucking convincing somebody to my left and right is. If somebody tells me they're going to go rob a bank, my answer is no, I'm going home. And I don't jump off a cliff when everyone else does, because my mom and dad taught me that. And I know they taught that to you too. So have some accountability and realize that you've done fucked up, AA Ron. But you've served your time. Tim Pool crushes this. And I, once again, I don't always agree with Timmy, but this is when Tim is at his finest. When he forgets about his sponsors and he forgets about his beanie and he just gets back to his roots of being a purveyor of truth. Watch this. Ladies, I want your comments on this because this one's good. It's a Matt level rant, but I even think just a tad better.
You've been sitting here with no knowledge of the specifics
of
some of these cases. There is a man in Brooklyn right now. I'm going to say it again.
All right, starting it over. Hold on. All right, here it is. Enjoy this.
Anything about these January 6 cases. You don't know why these people are in jail. You don't know that a man is in Brooklyn right now for 3 years without charge or trial. And when Donald Trump says these people have been held for too long, you say, no, Trump is wrong. Keep them locked up. That's fucking fascist. Dude.
Oh, there is some language in this, and this soy boy gets a mouthful. So I tend to have some language too, but Olivia and Amy are horrible. But Tim does cuss a little bit.
You've been sitting here with no knowledge of the specifics of some of these cases. There is a man in Brooklyn right now. I'm going to say it again. No charges whatsoever brought. He's been in jail for 3 fucking years. For you to sit there and say it is good that he remains locked up is fascism. That is saying the hierarchical system of the courts and the government is just, and the process is all that matters. And I am saying perhaps 3 years is enough, because I actually have moral logic and an understanding of these cases. Hence, my position on January 6th has always been the people who have attacked police must go to prison. But 3 years is a fucking long time for assault on an officer. We have seen people on the far left, notably when they were firebombing shit all across Minnesota, 33 people and murdered. Oregon. And how many criminal charges do we get for this? When they firebombed a police station and forced the police to evacuate. On May 29th, 2020, when thousands of far leftists firebombed the White House grounds and set fire to St. John's Church and injured 100 police officers, how many fucking people went to prison for 3 years? How many of them who never showed up on that day are in prison for 20 years? Enrique Tarrio wasn't even in D.C. on January 6th, and you are saying that man who his only crime was, quote, don't leave. That's his only crime. You think he should be in prison for 20 years because you're a fascist. You don't care what the facts are. You don't care if this is unjust. You only care that the machine state has decreed decreed you are not to be locked up. And this is the problem I have with the left. They don't know the facts. They don't care about the facts. They view morality as a blanket government stroke of the pen, and every person, regardless of their crime, should be in prison for decades. I reject it outright. The people who fought cops should go to prison. They did. It's been 3 years. But when you've got people who are on misdemeanor charges for having walked into a building at 4 p.m. after the riot, and I know some of these people, they walked into a building for 2 minutes and walked out, and they got 18 months for that. I don't see you defending the innocent people who walked onto a public grass at a public building after a riot had been completed. You don't know, you don't care. You've taken a tribal position and people are suffering because of it. Now you say that Donald Trump saying the injustice that we've seen warrants commutation or pardons. You say that means he's advocating for violence. This is the ultimate problem. Then you cite a press release from Maryland saying, but the right's more violent. Right. There is a distinction between a white supremacist as a right-wing group and a run-of-the-mill Christian conservative who showed up on that day not to protest. Let's talk about Brandon Strzok. He never went in the building. He was on the other side of the building. There was a permitted protest. He walked up the stairs and he was yelling. They put this guy in prison. There is Owen Schroyer, who was at a permitted rally, who was yelling death to communists. They put him in prison and specifically cited his speech. My dude, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's fine. I get it. We try to be polite. We try to be nice. But there are so many young liberals who sit here and say, the corporate press told me that these people are bad, and the machine state government has decreed it by pen. So I don't care what crime they committed. I don't care what the jury said. I don't care who was on the jury. Enrique Tarrio, who was not there, should be in prison for 2 decades. Tell me this now. Why is Enrique Tarrio in prison?
Yeah, so they uncovered with him his plot to overthrow the government.
What fucking plot?
Yeah, and his organization.
What plot? Who's they? Give me some
prosecutors.
Give me some fucking data. Stop squinting at me and saying the prosecutors did a thing. You didn't know. You didn't read it. You didn't read the court papers. All you know is the fascist machine state told you he should be in prison, and you're saying yes to them. Tell me why. Give me the data.
I understand that laws on the books have been there for a long time that I agree with, that if it's proven that you had a plan and you wanted to act on it, and then days after.
What's the proof?
The proof is
say the proof.
by prosecutors.
Say it.
Communications between.
What communications? What did he say? What did he do?
Is this serious?
Are you going to tell me why you think Enrique Tarrio should be in prison for 20 years, or are you going to say the government decreed it?
I just explained to you.
So the government said so. Is that it?
It's usually law enforcement, which I guess is a part of the government.
Government said so?
Yep. Law
so you can't say why.
That uncovers evidence of communications, a memo that he crafted and sent to his organization.
Saying what?
That detailed each institution of government that they were going to try to overthrow. Then just days later, his organization is at the Capitol.
I don't think we can even pull up Enrique Tarrio.
I'm not quite sure that there's any evidence.
There is evidence. And he did communicate this. And anyone who sits here and pretends that the people, 150 some on the stairs, were not going to use zip ties and not take some of those senators, not take those state legislatures, you're full of shit. I have shown video that a lot of people haven't seen of Ashley Babbitt and the shooting. And every single one of them, and Amy knows this, have said, oh my God, Matt, I never saw this. I've never seen it on Fox. I've never seen it on anywhere. And I should have seen this because holy shit, you're right. I'm the one in tears as I drove by, and I was literally hundreds of feet away from the Capitol building and talked to you guys live as I was driving home from work, and was in tears over Ashley Babbitt's shooting because it's a veteran and I had just lost a brother. But there were people who broke the law. They've served their time. Nobody died. Nobody died. Except for Ashley Babbitt and one other person who still we struggle to find the name and find the information because I haven't done my due diligence. But it doesn't mean that Ashley Babbitt was innocent. People say, oh, she was in there trying to stop him. Bullshit. She was going in the fucking window. Everyone knows she was going in the window. We know what they were doing. They were pissed, they were fired up, and they wanted accountability. Okay, fine. People get angry. People get fired up. Those times have been served. And Ashley Babbitt died. I think she's paid her price, but yet the left use her as a talking point, make fun of her and insult her. The biggest lie about this whole thing is that at any point, even 1,500 of them could have held the U.S. government for an extended period of time. What the fuck do you think we were going to do? We would have sent in the Marine Corps. We were going to activate the 1,000 National Guard, and they would have shot every fucking one of those kids. Every one of them would have died.
Yeah.
If you think that they were going to be like, oh, let's give up the keys. We're done, guys. Let's go home. Give them the Marine Corps. Give them the Navy. Give them the nuke codes. They run the government now. You're insane. There was no coup. And it was not an insurrection. It was by the literal definition, but it wasn't by the law. And the law says, and that's all we care about, is that it's an armed uprising over authority, an attempt to subvert the government. That did not take place, and there was no threat of that. That's like saying I came in with a freaking Nerf sword and I was going to kill the guy and I had a lethal weapon. You might have aggravated assault, but you certainly don't have attempted murder with a Nerf fucking sword, okay? They had nothing to hold the Capitol. They were pissed off, they were fired up, and they did their time. Let them out. Liv, want your opinion?
I think that dude's going to go crawl home to his boyfriend, Mr. Sissons, or whatever his name is. Yeah, he looked like he was trying to be tough, but he wasn't. I mean, oh, the left.
Data and facts, huh?
Yeah.
Data and facts.
Yeah, they've been living in a world where facts don't matter, and it's whatever shit spews out of their mouth that they say is true becomes their facts. And they've had the backing of the Democratic Party with that for the last 4 years. They got a rude awakening coming. We're not gonna let that fly anymore now.
Yeah.
They don't have it anymore. Things are gonna change, and I don't think that they're going to be very happy about it, and they're going to cry, and they're going to bitch and moan and scream and blah, 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 blah. And to be honest, I'm going to laugh out loud at them as they do. And I'm ready to see more Harry Sisson meltdowns.
Yeah,
I'm really
you're
ready.
going to see one in 1 second.
Oh, good.
Real quick.
But
go ahead, Amy. Go ahead.
I want to chime in because this infuriates me personally. If they want to leave these people to rot in jail for not doing literally anything wrong, then let's hold Nancy Pelosi accountable. We have her on video.
She admitted it.
Saying that she should have implemented the National Guard. So she should be serving life in fucking prison. So if you want to hold these people who have families, the grandmothers, in jail for the rest of their lives, great. Then let's hold everybody accountable to the same fucking standard. I'm so sick of this rules for thee, not for whatever it is. Rule for, what is it? I don't know the fucking
rule
thing.
for thee, not for me.
I had 3 sips of my drink, so I'm just saying I don't drink anymore.
So I can keep everything moving.
Yes.
Can I disagree and still love the show? Actually, you can disagree,
No.
but you don't disagree with me. Promise. I promise, because I fought J6 and the talking points for 3.5, 4 years on this show, and I have said that every single person who participated deserves the utmost extent of the law. They got that.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
4 years is
not
a
one
long time to serve in
person
jail.
Nobody committed murder. Not one person. Brian Sicknick was up and moving around and directing traffic after he was supposedly dead. He didn't die that day. He didn't have some sort of severe trauma. He had a heart attack, and officers took their lives, which is an epidemic in this country, and one that I have fought with 22 a day when it comes to veterans committing suicide and PTSD and anxiety, and also the Blue Line, which is doing the same. I have fought fervently against the J6 supporters. It is something that I completely think is abhorrent. I completely devalue and discredit all the people who took part in defacing our public capital and also going in with nefarious means. But let's be honest. I have spoken to Capitol Police officers that day. I have spoken to MARSOC shooters that day. I've spoken to Secret Service that day. And I also know the story of the discombobulated mess that the Capitol Police were, where they did not know what to do. They were not prepared because the one thing stands true that nobody says. Nobody thought, thank you, Mel, very much.
Mel.
Nobody thought conservatives would ever do this. Even though there were warnings, even though there was intelligence signs, conservatives in the history of the party have never, ever rioted. Ever. And that's a fact. We didn't riot over Ruby Ridge. We didn't riot over Waco. We didn't riot over the farms in Montana. We didn't riot over COVID. We didn't riot over people just throwing our judges to the wolves and taking federal and circuit court judges and what they did to Clarence Thomas, what they did to Kavanaugh, what they did to Comey Barrett, what they did to Ronald Reagan, even Mitt Romney, that piece of shit. We have never rioted. We didn't riot with the hanging chads in Florida. Everything the Democrats have ever done since the conception of their party has been violent. It's what they do. They are the founder of the Klan. They are founder of Jim Crow laws. They are founders of Manifest Destiny. They are founders of the Great Society. They are the founders of Japanese internment camps, the Tuskegee experiments, and the modern-day slave plantations. They were against the civil rights in the South. And it's not that all of a sudden we had a party switch, because the truth is that the Democratic Party had been racist until it was convenient for them to go ahead and use minority voters, because they lost white people in the North. Because their policies were already tried in the 1920s and 1940s by Republicans, because we are the ones that created welfare. We are the ones that created Social Security. We are the ones that created extended leave. We are the ones who created subsidies. We got rid of that shit. And that's also why Republicans didn't win shit for almost 28 years. We learned our lesson that you can't tax people into prosperity. And our party moved away from social liberalism. And the other side adopted it. So you can disagree, but you're going to find that I can write. One thing you'll learn about this show very quickly is that I'm going to give you all the sides, because a lot of people, I've lost many viewers over my stance on Ashley Babbitt. And even though I have wept for her and I think it's horrible, she did something incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
And Capitol Police are not there to defend. They're not there to protect you. It's not protect and serve. It's to defend the people in that Capitol from you.
It's kind of like I like to compare it to, this is not my analogy, this is somebody else's, but I totally stole it. The tomb of the unknown soldier. Those men and women who serve that tomb are there to protect the tomb. Even like they will protect it against like a freaking piece of trash. They will kill you. Correct. They're protecting that tomb of the unknown soldier. This is just like the Capitol Police. They are not there to protect the citizens at all. They are there to protect the Capitol. And they are trained to shoot and to kill. They are not. And Ashley Babbitt is a tragedy. It's sad that she died, but she ultimately should have known what she was up against before she made the decisions that she made. And it is sad. And I pray for her family even now, still today. It is truly a sad thing, but she made the choices. She had free will. She made the choice.
I can't do this tonight, but this is completely wrong.
No.
Electric, you need to come into my show more often and come on and dial in, and you and I will have this conversation, and I will explain to you why that is a complete fallacy. Republicans have not switched idealism. We have not switched our party platform. That was done after the Great Depression. That was done in the 20s. And it wasn't that we changed our positions. We changed our social policies. Our fiscal policies have always remained the same. Small government, the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. You and I will do this conversation. We're not doing it tonight. I don't have the time, but I'm going to tell you, my brother, it's not that you're wrong. This narrative is wrong, and I'll walk you through it step by step, and you can fact check everything I say, and maybe I'll flip you. Maybe I'll flip you just a little bit.
They taught that in school. Just so you know, they taught that.
It's not true.
I know it's not. I know it's not true.
I know. I'm telling him it's not true. There was no party switch. Never happened.
Correct. I remember learning it in. I want to say it was 8th grade. Was it citizenship class that he takes? I don't know.
I don't know, but it's 9 o'clock and I got to switch gears. Okay, Harry Sasson stop being sorry. Just know I'm going to be rapid firing now. I'm going to be Harry Sasson, Dave Rubin. Thank you for the donation, Judy. By the way, folks, I haven't said anything, but we are short. I'm not going to say anything. I don't need to. You guys, we need some help to get to our goal. We are literally $45 away. Let's pitch in, carry the big load. Here is Dave Rubin. I have never heard Dave Rubin go off like this. God, I love Dave Rubin more and more. I didn't trust him, but here is Harry Sasson. He is the proverbial little biatch all the way to the right. He is a guy who he does not like me. He does not want to talk to me. He will never debate me. And the reason why most people won't debate me is because I don't debate. I have a conversation and I expose your lack of knowledge on topics, or I agree with you. That's it. If you spit facts, I'm going to be, yeah, you're right. And people can't handle that. They can't handle the pressure of having to have their shit together on any possible topic. And I am not going to talk about it unless I know what I'm talking about. Here's Sasan, but listen to Dave Rubin. A little bit of language in this, but he goes off. And of course, Piers Morgan just loves it because he's the modern day Jerry Springer.
In a second, but listen, and maybe you'll learn something. I know you're making all your money from the Chinese Communist Party via TikTok. I get that.
And Dave is making his money from the Russians, right? We understand.
Uh-oh. First of all, Dave Rubin is not making his money from the Russians. That is so fucking stupid and ignorant, but he does it because he knows it's going to garner a reaction. And here is his reaction.
Back to what Donald Trump said.
Piers. Look at him. Look at him, Piers. I've gotten under his skin. I've gotten under his skin.
Because you're in a second, but listen, and maybe you'll learn.
Look at him, Piers. I've gotten under his skin. I've gotten under his skin.
Because you're in a second, but listen, and maybe.
I'm just going to make my one point. The ability to grab people and beat the living shit out of them is severely underrated and underappreciated in today's society. There were consequences for you saying that you were paid by the Russians. That is crowbar, tire iron, behind the barn type of shit where I come from. You call me a Nazi, you call me a Russian asset, we're going to fucking throw hands. And you're not coming out, you're going to be eating through a straw for a little bit. This little shit thinks that he is untouchable. This little shit thinks that nobody can reach him. And I'm telling you, and I don't wish any harm on anybody, Nick Fuentes, someone I don't like very much, was almost assassinated by somebody who killed 2 other people up north and then tried to go and kill him. But I'm telling you, Harry, better watch your fucking mouth, because one of these days you're going to say something wrong to somebody and someone's coming at your house. There is one thing I always try to do, and that is treat people with dignity and respect and leave them better than I found them. It's the one thing I always do when we engage in debate. And there's been people who we don't really get off on the good foot. And then we don't end on the good foot. But I always try to at least give them the benefit of the doubt. Olivia, your thoughts on Harry Sisson? And then Amy, your thoughts on Harry Sisson. Would you disown this guy if he was your child?
Well, Harry Sissy is... You can tell that he was not raised with discipline. And I'm going to blame his mom. And if I could get a hold of his mother, I would bitch slap her. What a fucking horrible mother she is. My God. I don't care how old Harry is. If our kids acted like that, I'd reach across the table. I don't care. Our kids would never disrespect somebody else like that. And we would never let our kids do what he is doing.
Yeah.
I blame mom for part of this. She's got to be a horrible mom. Horrible.
There goes the mom's getting blamed. Amy's like, God darn it.
I love that. I love that Olivia put a bow on this when I was like at the beginning of the show. Moms get blamed for everything. We are literally the ultimate villain.
That's so true.
That's what I was saying.
It's so true. We are the ultimate villain. We cannot do anything right at all. It's okay. I will say this about Harry Sisson. I don't know this child. I don't even know how old he is. He has, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. But he has rosacea, which I believe is like a gut health problem. And I think it's contributing to his mental health problems, because mental health and gut health are absolutely tied together. And I think there's something wrong with him mentally and physically. Again, I'm not a doctor. This is just my speculation from the bit of knowledge I have. I don't like this child. I don't like him. If I was his mom, my kids, I don't want to, I want to shape their worldview to the most accurate depiction that I can, but they often disagree with me, and that's okay. They're so little, but I often ask them why, why would they think this way? Even when it comes to we're very Catholic. They go to a Catholic school. I don't agree with every Catholic teaching. Sorry. I don't. I just don't. I will ask them, ask the question, why? Why? Read the Bible. What does it mean to you? We talk about, that's all I would say to him. Why? And do the research. Tell me why.
It's a perfect segue into our next video with Greg Gutfeld, who people don't understand the level of intelligence in Gutfeld. Gutfeld is one of the smartest conservatives. He is just as sharp as Charles Krauthammer, but with a personality. Charles Krauthammer, in my opinion, is when he died, was one of the smartest conservatives to ever have lived. Greg Gutfeld is right up there because he has a sharp, poignant wit that is unmatched. And although corny at times, he delivers. And he makes a point that I made. And once again, it's not that Gutfeld watches this show, but I guarantee there's people at Fox who watch this show because there's funny how things that I say, which was the restaurant analogy, that you don't like everything in the you don't have to like everything in the restaurant to eat there. And there's things about Donald Trump that you may not like, but you don't have to like everything. If you're not a fish person, you can have some steak or chicken. It's a restaurant that has everything. It's a cheesecake factory. And Donald Trump most assuredly is a cheesecake factory. Greg makes this point, and it's just what she said, is you don't have to like everything about Catholicism, but enough of it will make you eat there
I don't have
again.
to say it's fine. I'm just telling you the reality.
Did you vote to revoke birthright citizenship for the children of people who are here legally?
Do you understand what that means?
Yeah, I do.
Tell me about it. Tell me what birthright citizenship meant.
Well, I think when Donald Trump was talking about it and disparaging people who are here, he was talking about undocumented people who come and drop their anchor babies. He wasn't talking about people who are here on student visas, people who are here on H-1B visas.
You're always going to choose this weird exception.
No,
the fact is the
it's
system
not
is being
weird.
gamed. Americans voted for Donald Trump because they saw these systems, these institutions being gamed. The asylum issue, the birthright citizen issue, Title IX issues. Every single part of society was being gamed by the left. And finally, Americans got pushed too far. Point is, you don't have to like everything in the restaurant to like the restaurant. There are things, I go to a restaurant, I don't eat any seafood, but I like that restaurant because it's got steak. There are things.
It's just a perfect segue because it's so freaking true. It's just like politicians. You don't have to, if you try to make them omnipotent or try to put them on some pedestal, they're going to disappoint you. They are men, they are sinners, they are fallible. Politicians should not be liked. They should not be revered. They should not be admired. They are not your leader. They are your voice because you cannot be represented in Washington because of sheer numbers. There was a time where you could walk in to the Oval Office and literally walk in one day a year. Can't do that anymore. Tens of millions would show up. So what you have are elected representatives who are not your leaders. They are your bullhorn. And you have to assume a couple of things. Are they representing you appropriately? And if they're not, then you need to get them out. Liv, your thoughts on what Greg said? We watched it together, but I wanted to get your thoughts.
I don't remember watching it.
It's okay. You don't have to. Just talk about it, please.
I thought I've always liked Greg. He usually has very, very good points. And I'm very interested to see where Jessica goes on the 5.
I like Jessica. I don't know why people hate her so much.
I don't hate her.
You hate her wardrobe selection. I do too.
What? I don't agree with her, but I don't hate her.
I hate the clothes she wears. I don't like she's so pretty and I feel like they put her in the worst outfits. Coming from someone who has the wardrobe.
Oh yeah, that's a little flying nun for me too. You're right. Yeah. That's a little flying nun.
Like
but I think it's kind of
she's so pretty. Like she needs
she's
better.
Fucking smoking.
Do better by her. Do better by her. People.
I don't like
right.
And, just like you don't have to like everything in the restaurant, as Greg and you so pointedly pointed out. But she did get on my nerves a little bit the last 4 years. She was on a high horse. And I'm very interested to see now that her party doesn't have the White House, doesn't have the Senate, doesn't have the Congress. I'm very curious to see where her high horse goes over the next few years. Because there were some points that she argued on the 5 that she shouldn't have argued, but she did it because she could. And I'm very curious to see where it goes now.
See, here's the thing. You guys, of course I knew this reaction. Cricket, sorry, Matt, I think Jessica is a liberal idiot. You don't need to apologize to me. Yeah. It's not your fault or my fault that she is a liberal idiot. But there's more to people than being a liberal idiot. I also know she's extremely loyal to her family. I also know she's defended Jesse when people tried to go ahead and go after him when he touched her belly when she was pregnant, and she had Jesse dead to fucking rights. She could have sued him for $20 million and taken Fox News to fucking hell and back. She didn't. She said, it's okay. I'm a big girl. I can take care of myself, and Jesse's my friend. To me, there's more to people than politics. And if you're just waiting to disagree with someone to find their value, then you might as well leave my show, because you're going to hate me at one point and you're going to bail on me. Might as well go now. If we just wait for people to fail.
On that note, can I go pee really quick?
Oh, geez. You just fucking go pee. You never have to ask. Just do it.
Floodgates are opening. She's going to go again in 5 minutes.
Once again, I don't judge people based upon their politics. I don't just, I think she is a complete lefty, and I'm not a fan of her politics. I think she most of the time tries to be respectful. I want to ask you a question. What do you think people would say about me if I went to a Democrat panel? 4 people. I went on Young Turks. What do you think all the fans would say about me? He's a fucking white supremacist Nazi. Fucking, he's a chauvinist alpha male with tattoos, right?
Yep.
Do you guys agree with him? No. You guys, well, Matt's all those things, yes, but he's not. He's a good.
It's because that's a leftist channel. This is a conservative channel.
Right.
And we have been brainwashed over the last 16 years that people with opposite political views as yourself are the enemy. And the Conservative Party they have fought it for a long time, but people over the last 4 years, with the way that we have been treated and the names that we've been called and everything that's happened, they have started to feel that way. Yeah. And they have started to, they're defending themselves and they don't like it anymore. And now they're starting to spew it out. Yeah. And I completely, I can understand, because we've been treated horribly. We've lost people in our lives. That's why the show was started. We've been called all those names, but I know I have not been hired for jobs because of my political views. I guarantee it.
Yeah, we know that.
I already know I wasn't
Loudoun
hired.
County hates us.
I already know I was not hired at that school because Loudoun County doesn't like us, but I will never hate someone over their political views. I will get to know them before I dislike them.
Yep.
And I don't dislike Jessica. I just don't like her political point of view. But you know what? She does make some good points.
Sometimes.
And I don't have an issue with her. I had an issue with Juan. Juan was a fucktard.
There's a difference. See, Juan is an immoral douchebag who never admitted he was wrong. Geraldo Rivera, same fucking way. There's another guy, he's a black gentleman who has the fucking glasses with no glass in it. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I remember him.
I don't like him either. Because they've never admitted they're wrong. At least Jessica can go, you know what, that's not a bad point. She is, someone said, why did you go on the Young Turks? I didn't, they won't let me on. No, none of the Democrats will have me on. They know better. Because I'm not going to be who they want me to be. They want me to be a Trump supporter who is so loyal to Trump that I will never admit that he's wrong, and I will. They'll never have. I'm too rational for them, and they don't want me. And although we're not at 1 million people, this is why Facebook doesn't push me. This is why Rumble doesn't push me, because I'm not entertaining from a fucking Jerry Springer sense, and that's what sells. I make you think. I make you feel a little uncomfortable, and I make you disagree a little bit to find that there's multiple points. Juan, Geraldo, these are horrible people. I don't think Jessica Tarloff is a horrible person. Like I said, she had Jesse by the balls, and she didn't do a damn thing. To me, that's credibility, and that speaks more than the talking points. Her job is out there to go ahead and be the voice of opposition so they can beat up on a liberal. You know what? That is a very difficult job, and I have to respect her at least for being there. I don't have to like her politics, but I can say she's a good-looking woman.
And she does say when she's wrong.
Yes.
She does. If good point is brought against her, she will say that she is wrong. And that's why I like her. And I have to say that I like Harold Ford Jr. better when he's on the show.
Love Harold.
When he's on the show.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If it could just be him all the time, I would be happy because I love his point of view. And he brings some class to the Democratic side of that show.
Yeah,
so
he does.
But
I said if he ran for office, it would be. I don't know if I vote for him, but man, I do like Harold Ford Jr. He's very, very level-headed.
Yeah.
I like that. So
I do too. I like him. And thank you,
You have
Bobby. No, I agree with everything you guys are saying. I will just say this. I truly love Greg Gutfeld. We've been watching, and not just on the 5, but I love his show that he has that comes on every night. I think it comes on at like 10 o'clock, maybe. I'm not sure. We watch it pretty religiously. It's one of our favorite shows. We love him. I love Kat Temp.
I love Kat.
I don't know.
She's awesome.
Yeah, I love her. She's hilarious. And I hope she's been through a lot too. She's got like a very interesting story. I love all the people on the
I just love everybody.
And Greg Gutfeld, yeah. Just love everybody.
We got to shift
And that's
gears.
the difference between CNN and Fox. I'll just say that.
Oh, totally. Like Scott Jennings is a hero. Okay,
Yeah.
I got to shift gears. I want to show you. We got to talk about the Elon Musk salute. Okay, and I'm only spending a short period of time on it. Give me a fucking break. Okay.
Can we just point out that literally, what's his face? Kamala's husband did the same exact thing. Can we just show that video clip and end it now? I mean,
I've already done it. It's on my page, and
okay.
They're going to
There you
fact
go.
check me. Real quick, Rachel Orlando says CNN has Scott Jennings, a strong conservative, on there, so fair game. I'm not questioning the game. In fact, I'm defending the game. I'm defending Jessica Tarloff, and I will defend her. I want someone who can admit they're wrong. And Scott Jennings, whether we like it or not, when you make a valid point, he will listen. He appreciates people who don't clutch pearls and don't virtue signal. If you make a fair point, I have seen him many times go, okay. He doesn't be like, oh, thank you for destroying me. Okay. But you got to bring the facts on him. And Jessica does bring the liberal argument very well. It may not be right, and it may be something we disagree with, but she presents. I mean, you got Judge sitting there going, fuck. You know, I would be like, hey, Judge, why don't you? Anyway, you want to show the video? That's fine. I'm going to show it right now. And this is not designed to say, and everyone's taking it this way, that liberals are Nazis. No. But I'm going to show you this video so you can understand how this shit can get misconstrued. First of all, there you go. Taylor Swift. She's a part of the Third Reich. She's now a Trump supporter Nazi. See?
Well, she's blue eyes, blonde hair. She's obviously a Nazi.
Total Eva Braun knockoff. She's a Nazi. Here is the video that I want you to see, just to put it into context, right? Because all you're going to say is, wait a second, Matt, they're waving. No. We don't do context here. We just call them a Nazi when we see Nazi things, right? So here's Kamala Harris being a Nazi, Hillary Clinton being a Nazi, and AOC being a Nazi.
Рабочей крестьянской революции, о необходимости которой все время говорили большевики, совершилась!
Third Reich. There it is, folks. Republicans are not the only Nazis. But see, context. Hillary Clinton's not a Nazi. AOC's not a Nazi. Kamala Harris aren't Nazis. They're fat cows, but they're not Nazis. AOC looks good, though. But when she talks, it makes me want to throw up. But they're not Nazis. And Elon Musk is not a Nazi. Elon Musk said he was giving them his heart. He was emotional. He said multiple times he's never felt more accepted than with MAGA. He feels like he's not being looked at for his money or his cars, that people accept him for who he is. And he was emotional. And yes, he could have went, this is my heart and I love all of you. But he didn't, because then they would call him a fag. So he did this thing and just right out there, like throwing you my heart. The guy has Asperger's. Go ahead.
And he acted strange. And I didn't get to watch a single freaking minute of the inauguration. I'm watching the clips. But Elon Musk, from the highlights that I've seen, he was peculiar the whole time. But yes, he has Asperger's. Who cares? He's very eccentric. He's probably the smartest person on the freaking like northern hemisphere. Like, Let him be quirky and weird. Who cares? And ask.
Oh shit!
I saw this video of a mom who asked her child to do the. What would your motions be if you were saying, I'm going to give my heart to somebody, and her child did the same exact thing. A child who was like, okay, mom, like whatever. It's because that's if I'm giving you my heart. I don't know.
It's just
and Tim Walz did the same fucking thing, like literally the same thing, like the whole like right here and then out, like it was the same fucking thing.
It doesn't matter that it's awkward. Bill Gates did the same thing when he released Windows 95. He came out like this.
Yeah.
That's how he ran. And you know what? Some people are socially, he's a fucking computer geek. The guy wore fucking black hair to his ass in leather. And guys, and he had eyeliner. He was a freaking emu. Okay? By the way,
emo.
I have
not emo.
Whatever.
Yes.
Fuck it. Oh, you guys want to see my fat days?
This is right here. This is proof our daughter is a Nazi. Just
You're gonna
so
make
you know.
me show my fat picture?
You
My
can block
daughter-
yourself out if you want.
I can't block this. You got Amy. Go ahead. Stop drinking. You just won't stop. I mean, just
I'm sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead.
When you're talking about your daughter, I'm like, my daughter did the Nazi march because she had like a hearing problem and she walked with like a sort of limp, and then she would do
Did you have the music?
No, we didn't, but we have video of it because it was that
You
funny.
should find it and send it to me.
Find it, yeah.
So this is when I was addicted to hydrocodone, a broken back, back surgeries, up the ass, 16 surgeries. I was 265 pounds. Nobody's seen this photo. But you guys always go, Matt, you weren't fat. No, you have no idea, guys. I was broken and I was dead. But here is my daughter doing the Nazi salute.
Yeah, find it if you can.
Amy, look at that picture. Can you believe that?
Great.
That's how she waved to people. Yep. When she was little. So that right there, proof.
I know you do. Okay, thanks. Send it to me or Matt.
Yeah.
All right,
265 pounds, 56% body fat, 108 pounds of muscle on my body. Now I'm 240. Got about 182 muscle, probably about 12 to 14% body fat, and can do just about anything that I want to do. And I could not, but I was in a bad way.
I still had half my baby weight on there.
Yeah, you have a reason. I was a broken, destroyed human being who had given up on life, and thank God for my wife and my family, and also finding my physicality back. But yeah, that was my fat days, long time ago. But anyway, Amy's finding that video. I want to show you. This is a feel good video. And listen, I want people to understand. Elon Musk is responsible for himself. There is nothing that I've ever heard him say about Nazi rhetoric in my life. And as a person who is a German who has Nazis in his bloodline, which I do, but I also have Jews who fled the Holocaust, and my grandmother fled the Holocaust, and she had to do some atrocious things to survive. That's maybe where I get some of my impartiality, was because she was very loving and married a man whose uncle was a Nazi. And my grandfather. That's pretty fucking crazy. So I will tell you that trivializing what the Nazis did is very dangerous. And when you normalize it, you are anesthetizing people's emotions to the horrific nature of what happened with the Holocaust. Now, you can go ahead and sit here and tell me that the Holocaust didn't happen. Fuck you. You've never been to Auschwitz. You've never seen what I've seen. You don't know what I know. And you never talked to my grandmother. You've never heard the stories. Fuck you. Jake Shields and fucking Candace Owens and Stu
AOC doesn't think it happened either.
Stu Peters, you all can take a flying fuck off of a short cliff. We eradicated you fucktards from the planet once. We will happy to do it again. Just keep it the fuck up. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of hating gays. I'm sick of hating transgender. I'm sick of hating lesbians. I'm sick of hating Muslims and Jews and Gentiles. fucking forget about. There's so many more important things than people's ideology and skin color and sexual disposition. Let's go for character. This is a good video because this man, no matter how much they've torn him down and no matter how much shit he's done, he started out from nothing. And now he is one step away from the presidency of the United States. This is amazing. Watch this. This is like one of the, I love this. I love this for JD Vance. Watch this. Amy, you're going to like this one.
Thank you.
He wouldn't go in first. It's not just respect for Trump, because it is, but it's also intimidation. The White House, the Capitol, DC was built and designed to be very intimidating for foreign leaders. It is awe-inspiring. You just are afraid to touch anything. I've had the luxury of being in the White House 2 times. And I'm telling you, it is a very cathartic and very intimidating moment. Here's the rest.
Good to see you. Good to see you too. Wow. This is JD Vance's first time to step into the Oval Office. Wow. It's incredible. This is incredible. All right, sounds
kind of a cool thing. What, Olivia, you get through an election, you get a chance to go into the Oval Office. You know the rooms, the Lincoln bedroom. You understand there's different portions of the West Wing. And what's the first thing that, even if you don't know the specific room or what would the first thing you would want to see? You've watched enough West Wing.
The Oval Office.
Yeah.
Of course. Want to see the Oval Office first.
Right. Anything, like, where would you want to stay? Would you want to stay in the Lincoln bedroom? Would you want to stay on the off quarters or the residence, or would you want to stay where Kennedy was at? And
I'd like to see the residence just to see where they live.
Me too.
Just, And do they have to walk outside to get to the residence, or can they go inside?
No, it's a connected corridor from the West Wing, outside the West Wing, down the walkway. Now there are servant entries, dumb waiters, and back connections, but the president doesn't take that. He walks outside.
Below.
Go ahead, Amy. Yep, and below.
And there's tunnels below. They don't have to ever go outside if they don't want to.
That's true, but they don't. When he goes to the residence, it's out the back door, through Marine Guards there, walks down the hallway, takes a right, enters to the left, and residency is right there. What about you, Amy? Where would you want to go?
Okay, this might sound like really fucking weird, but I got to be on Air Force One when Obama was president, and I learned a fun fact about they redesigned the bathrooms for the height of the presidents. So I would like to see the bathrooms because of that fact. They literally custom tailor like the shower heads for the height of the president. So I just found that. So I'd like to see the bathrooms, honestly.
Yeah,
see how bougie they are.
I've had a chance to get inside Marine One, Air Force One. I've seen everything I need to see from the Pentagon. I've seen what I need to see from Annapolis and Langley, Fort Meade. I've pretty much seen what I need for. I think if I could see anything, the one place I wanted to go my entire life, and I had a chance to brief Secretary of Defense Cheney and the Secretary of the Navy on 2 separate occasions, is the one thing that I had a chance that I thought I was going to be able to do was to brief inside the Situation Room. And it wasn't in the Situation Room. And the watch officer, the intel watch officer, debriefed me and went into the situation and briefed, and I didn't get to go. That's the one place I would want to see, is I'd want to be in the Situation Room. Yeah. Like, that was my dream. But that was my dream. Yes. Like, when I got into intel and I enlisted, it was like I am going to brief the President of the United States someday. And I did not get to do that because I wasn't important enough. But gosh darn, I would
see that. I could see that. Yeah. I got to go to I didn't get to see the president or anything, but on Air Force One, we got to take the tour of the Situation Room, which is huge. You're like thinking it's an airplane. It's got to like, everything is. It's crazy big.
It's like
Air
it's like a
Force
floating.
One is huge.
Is it like a C-17?
No, it's bigger.
I don't know what it is. It's enormous.
It's a 747. 747.
It's humongous. That's all I say. Like the press.
How'd you get
like
on there?
Ty Lopez. I know. Oh, wait, me or her?
Her.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Me.
I know how you got on.
A friend was Air Force. She worked on Air Force One and was retiring. So I went to the retirement ceremony. So that was it was probably one of the like top highlights of my life. It was amazing. Honestly. So freaking amazing. Just to take the tour, just to see everything. But it is the biggest, and I've flown international and all that stuff, but like I feel like Air Force One is just like the layout or something. It's exceptionally big. Where the press sits, it's like what you would sit in like a normal plane. It's just like, and there's like all first class chairs on like a normal size
It's
plane.
amazing.
And then there's like
it is unreal.
Then there's the upstairs. It's like crazy big, crazy insane. The bathrooms, like I said, Obama was president at the time. Everything was like gold and like the personalized towels, and like they had to raise the shower up for him. Like everything was personalized. It was just so freaking cool. Honestly, it was just such an amazing experience.
Okay, I gotta move forward.
Sorry.
Nope, don't. This is what we do the show
Sorry.
for.
That was my nickname in high school. So
don't be sorry. We have to show you one thing that I promised I would show you. I've got two. You guys get to decide. I've got a Marjorie Taylor Greene video on J6 that I actually support and actually agree with everything Marjorie Taylor Greene said for the first time in a while, since she's really just, yeah. And then I've got one from the J6 Shaman, which is a very interesting interview with the BBC. That one's very interesting because
we can't see both.
I don't have time, but I got to get Olivia to bed. She doesn't feel good. You can see she's not feeling good. So I want to get her relaxed. But I'd really like to show you guys. Good night, Dawn. Nobody being rude. By the way, folks,
Liv pick. She's not feeling well.
Real quick, if you've not been had a chance. The show goes at $281.55. If you've not had a chance and you are looking to help the show, thedumshow.com/donate. We take PayPal, we take Venmo, and also mail. We are a 100% funded show for you, and we get a little bit of money from Wimkin and some advertising, but Facebook really cut our legs out from underneath us about 16 months ago, and the show has been funded by you ever since. So we ask at the 8:30 mark, and we usually ask at the beginning of the show, but I am going to go ahead and bring that up now because we are winding it down. So if you're like, hey, you know what, I love the show, it's a great time, and you feel like, you know what, maybe I just won't buy that cup of coffee tomorrow and I'll throw it to the Dumb Show, you can do that by going to thedumshow.com/donate. Liv, which one do you want to see, Marjorie Taylor Greene or the January 6th Shaman video?
That's up to you. There was an interesting question though, so I don't know if you...
Sure, of course. I always want to do questions.
Was the salute, was Hitler doing it to the people or the people doing it to Hitler? Because Hitler would salute too. Yeah. So what was...
Yes is the answer.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing. There's a show that we're going to have to do on Nazi Germany and to break apart that Leroy and I will probably do in regards to the whole myth that they were the far right or the far left. And the truth is that there is nothing that resembles Republicans or Democrats in the Nazi Party at all. But there are traits in the Nazi Party from the right and the left that are antithetical to the governance of our republic and our elected representation through Democratic Republic. But there is a lot of history inside the Nazis' uniforms, from the cult-like theology that they bred through a pseudo-Christianity. They borrowed a lot of relics and a lot of symbolism from Hindus, from the Persians. There's a lot of history, and it's something that
Catholics.
and the Catholics. Oh, most assuredly, yeah. Hitler was absolutely fascinated with the occult, and so when we look at the Roman salute, we can talk about that. But he also had a very firm love for Julius Caesar. He admired the Greeks. There's a lot about Hitler that people don't know, but what made him so appealing to people was his breadth of knowledge. And he wasn't a stupid person. A lot of people, you can't say anything nice about Hitler. Okay, I'm not saying something nice. I'm telling you facts. Amy, go ahead, and then we got to watch this.
Just really quickly, I watch this show. I have a hard time sleeping. So there's this, I don't know the exact title, but it's something along the lines of World War II history facts to fall asleep to. So I often watch it at night. It's not biased of right or left. It is truly factual. I have fact checked a lot of it myself later. I don't fall asleep to it personally, but it's a great show. It is very factual. It doesn't just talk about Germany. It talks about the full scope of World War II, and I think it's a good place for people to start to know that it is not a right-leaning war that Germany started.
Yeah, fascism started under Mussolini, and
Yes.
it's people need to understand that fascism is antithetical to Nazi Socialist Party. In fact, they are diametrically opposed to each other, where a lot of the unionization and the labor unions and the labor workforce came out of fascism, and government subsidy and government control came out of socialist progressive. This is why, quickly, when Germany fell, it literally took them less than 3 weeks to put up they put up the wall longer than that, but the Germans in East Germany adopted Russian socialism overnight. And there's a reason why, is because it closely resembles the Nazi party and the fascist state that they were. But we can talk about that, but not now. I am going to, okay, Marjorie Taylor Greene has a really good segment, and it's not inspirational, but it was nice to hear her defend Trump and not sound like she's nuts. She didn't talk about Jewish space lasers and stuff. But the Shaman video is actually good enough to show you. I really want to show you this. Plus, I want to see if we can get a couple more donations because it is a slow time for the next couple months. So let's go ahead and play this. I will tell you the Shaman is a little eccentric, but it's interesting how he combats the BBC. He's quite funny. And I just wanted to, I don't want to give him a platform necessarily, but I found it an interesting conversation. And I want you to watch it. So here it is. This is from the BBC. And he was pardoned as well. Here it is.
Now is your chance to be absolutely clear.
Ryan Woodcock says, glad I found this podcast. It's interesting. We're getting pushed on YouTube. I don't understand. People are saying they're seeing it everywhere. And we've been censored for 4 years on YouTube.
Yeah, there was, I think it was Electric that said that all he did was refresh the page and we showed up at the top of his feed.
That's amazing. Wow. Like, I'm very
awesome.
happy. We always want to grow, but YouTube has blacklisted us. They burned our first channel that we had, which was doing quite well. So it's been a struggle to get noticed on YouTube. So thank you all for doing that. Ryan Woodcock, thanks for subscribing to us.
Yes,
Here's the video. Give this a watch. This is a very interesting interview. He's a very smart guy. Here it is. A little eccentric though.
About this, are you saying you did not go into that building to try to stop the certification of the accurate 2020 US presidential election result?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I did not go into the building for that reason. And the fact that you still think that I did just shows how distorted the media lens actually is.
On that point,
because that's
Jake,
never my intention.
Jake,
that's never been my intention.
I'm just literally looking at what you pleaded guilty to. That's what I'm going from. You pleaded guilty to unlawfully obstructing.
Very quickly, we used to be on Twitch, but the gamers would just troll the shit out of us, and we kind of just said no on Twitch. I can turn Twitch back on, but we're on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble. Wimkin is our big channel. We love Wimkin. They are free speech network, social media. It's a fantastic channel. If you haven't been on Wimkin, please go over there. They're good friends of the shows. And obviously YouTube.
An official proceeding, i.e.
And didn't the Supreme Court say that, but didn't the Supreme Court just say that that is not a practical application of the law whatsoever, and that the government was bending the law to gain convictions out of people?
Give us your reaction to being pardoned for that day by President Trump.
It feels just like it should.
Go on.
I think that pretty much says it all.
Describe your emotions when you heard.
It gets better.
I think I got the news from my lawyer when I was at the gym, and I walked outside and I screamed freedom at the top of my lungs and then gave a good Native American war cry.
And did you expect him to follow through on what he has promised on a number of occasions through the campaign trail?
I expect Donald Trump to be a man of his word like he has been for decades. And that is a track record that we don't have with pretty much any politician in D.C. for the most part. Very few have that kind of a record of saying the same things and doing the same things, which are pro-American, for over 30 years.
You wrote on X after you'd heard the news, "Thank you, President Trump. I'm going to buy some mother effing guns." Because presumably now your record has been wiped clean, you are allowed to buy guns again. Is that what you're going to do? Have you gone out and bought them already?
Oh, yeah. Well, I want you to think about something. The mockingbirds in the media and the government demonized me. They made me social pariah. They attached things like QAnon, conspiracy theorist, white supremacist, insurrectionist, racist, homophobe, terrorist. They attached all those labels to my image. And then they imprisoned me for 27 months, 10 and a half in solitary confinement. And then they released me to the public as social pariah without the ability to own a firearm. So I can never really actually bring in a gun to a gunfight. I always have to bring a knife to a gunfight. And you do realize how wrong that is, right?
Jay, you pleaded guilty.
I pleaded guilty. So is this how we do things in England? I say, yes, yes. You can't see, the forest for the trees, my dear.
I love him.
Why did you plead guilty then?
Have you ever been in solitary confinement before?
Tell me why you pled guilty.
She's trying to.
I'm asking you the question, dear. Have you ever been in solitary confinement? The answer is no. Have you ever had the media and the government simultaneously mischaracterizing your involvement in some sort of a politicized travesty that is being used to actually circumvent the law and certify an election that in every way, shape, and form has all the hallmarks of a regime change and corruption? I mean, you've never been in my shoes. You don't want to be in my shoes. You're too afraid to be in my shoes. That's why you're behind the camera that you're behind, and I'm behind the one that I'm behind.
And that's why I'm asking you to give me an insight into why you pleaded guilty.
I just gave it to you. But like I said, you can't see the forest for the trees, my dear.
Explain it to me. Go on.
My
He just did.
No.
Yeah.
I am in no way, shape, or form obligated to explain anything to you, especially now.
What do you mean, especially now? Because you're a free man and you've been part. Well, you were released a little while ago.
Not just that. I've been vindicated more than once, dear. And the BBC now has its reputation in the gutter. You guys covered up Jimmy Savile for years. You covered up the rape gangs for years. You guys got the Dorian Gray image right in front of you. You got your own painting right in front of you. I mean, it's no offense. It's what you guys deserve as an institution. I don't know if you're one of the people that covered this stuff up, but I mean, you all know what you did over the last several decades. You know who you've been protecting.
I've spent years covering abuse of young women and young men as it happens. But anyway, not long after you...
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. No. Did you cover the rape gangs or did you help cover that up? Did you cover Jimmy Savile while he was doing all that stuff to those children with special needs?
Jay,
or did you cover the fact that Prince Andrew went to Epstein Island?
Not long after you were jailed, you said you regretted what you did, that you were wrong for entering the Capitol building. And then when you got out of jail, it sounded like you weren't remorseful or regretful anymore. Where do you stand now?
Holding on to regret or hatred or anger or depression is bad spiritual hygiene. I regret nothing. You understand?
Would you do the same again?
Because I'm a better man because of what I went through. Do you regret things that are hard that you go through but make you a better human being? No, because they made you a better human being. And in all honesty, if you think of my lack of presence there on January 6th, then what you'll find is that January 6th narrative no longer has an Achilles heel. So I was the Achilles heel of the January 6th narrative because the media made me one, because they lied. They lied en masse to billions of people, and then it came back to bite them in the ass.
What did they lie about, and how's it come back to bite them in the ass?
Sorry. If you can't read the writing on the wall, dear, there's nothing I can do to help you.
Jay, I'm asking you.
Oh, and I'm telling you. You dig what I'm saying? You can't figure this out on your own. There's nothing I can do to help you, dear.
Donald Trump.
I can't. There's nothing I'll be able to say to you. Do you understand? Like you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. You can lead a person to knowledge, but you can't make him think. I'm leading you to the knowledge, but I mean, it's up to you to think about it.
Donald Trump called you, all those who were convicted after January the 6th, called you unbelievable patriots. I wonder if you also support the pardoning of those who were convicted alongside you, but who attacked police officers, for example.
Well, if they served their time, if they were in prison at the time, then, they did their time. They did their sentence. I leave it to the president's discretion. In all honesty, he's the one that has the Department of Justice and the files at his disposal. He's the one that has the large legal team. I don't have any of that stuff. I trust his judgment way more than I trust the judgment of people like Merrick Garland or Joe Biden.
I wonder what you would think if people had tried to stop the certification of Trump's win this time around.
I didn't try to stop the certification. That's the thing you people just don't seem to understand.
I wasn't necessarily saying you did.
Stopping the certification.
I wasn't necessarily saying you did. I was just asking a broader question.
But stopping the certification was not in the best interest of any Trump supporter. We wanted there to be a debate. It was in the best interest of the deep state. That's why I believe they staged the whole thing to begin with.
What would
you know, in all honesty, that's about all the time I have, my dear. So I'm
would you do it again? Would you do it again, Jake?
What kind of question is that? Do you mean like if I had the knowledge that I have now, would I go back and do the whole thing all over again? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yes? Is that it?
Yes.
If I had the knowledge I have now and I could go back, I would try to stop the whole thing from happening. I'd go down to the Capitol before Trump was even on frickin' stage, and I would hold sacred space. I would say a prayer. I would get everybody focused on God and God alone and not easily provoked.
Thank you very much for talking to Newsnight, Jake. We appreciate your time.
I love his choice of shirt.
Yeah, it's good, right?
Yes.
Talking to a Brit.
So good.
And I didn't recognize him without the horns and the face paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a fascinating interview, and it came on, and I spending 8 minutes of my time. Thank you, Jane. Olivia's coffee
Thank you,
tomorrow.
Jane. Yes,
thank you, Jane. You're the best. Out of the, I don't spend 8 minutes on anything, and if you ever get more than 8 minutes of my time, it means I like you, right?
That must mean you really like me.
Yeah.
It's 26 years.
Well, that's not my time. That's my okay. So moving on. But anyway, my attention. You're so gross.
Who?
You. You were thinking naughty, and I was thinking attention, and you were thinking it was my.
She's been drinking, of course.
So
I have.
Moving on.
I'm like halfway done too, y'all.
Right, I'm almost done, and then everyone gets their final minute. I think it's very important. Time is very important, and everyone says all the time, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to spend time with my kids. I don't have time to pray. I don't have time to read a book. That is a complete just bullshit statement. And you sleep 8 hours a day, and what you do, and you work 12 hours or 8 hours a day, and then, but I don't choose to sleep 8 hours because I know my body and I know how to take care of it. And I'm maybe 4 to 6 hours a night, and then 12 is working, and then I've got another 6, 7 hours, whatever it is, free to do whatever I want. And those minutes are crucial to me, and I do not waste them. So for me to spend 8 minutes on a video is a long time. And if I talk to you on the phone for an hour and a half, you should be like, wow, you know what? Matt's spending his time with me because he cares. Anyway, I that guy didn't do anything. That guy trespassed. And
isn't it the people's house? How did he trespass?
You can't go. Okay, just because it's the people's house doesn't mean everybody gets to go. Let's go have a party. That's not the way.
He get?
But they invited him in, correct?
Yeah, didn't guards take him around though?
Like I said,
I feel like
he went and
gets
put
a
his
pass.
he went and put his feet up. He went ahead and put his feet up and went in Nancy Pelosi's office. He did some things that he wasn't supposed to do, and he should have been
Did he know
reprimanded
that?
for yes.
I can't believe he spent 10 months in solitary
Okay,
confinement.
listen to me. Can I just get my? You're asking questions and you don't want the answer. You just let
We
me
don't.
answer.
We want to fight.
Okay, good. Did he break the law? He trespassed, and that has consequences. And it's a slap on the wrist, and it's a warning. He did not deserve jail.
Agreed.
But they made an example out of him because he became the face of J6. He became the face, and they did it to him, and they held him accountable. I 100% don't think he should have spent 1 minute in jail. I think that he should have got a citation. He should have been escorted off the premises and banned from DC for 3 months. That's the most. Yeah. What they did to him was a travesty. And yes, solitary confinement. Some of us who went through SEER training,
Jennifer,
we had to be locked up and alone for 3 days. And I can't begin to tell you how horrible solitary confinement is.
She was trying to climb near the...
We're losing the show. It's melting down. Amy, go ahead and give us final thoughts.
Final thoughts. On a completely separate note, I think I would do fantastic in solitary confinement because I am a mom. So I think I could handle that shit like nobody else. I do. I think I'd be fine with it for a limited amount of time. 3 days, I'd be like, thank you, Jesus, for this. 2, I don't know all the ins and outs of this young man, but I really like him from this interview. I remember we did the January 6th stuff years ago. We broke it all down. I remember those videos. I remember breaking it all down. I agree. I do not think he should have served any amount of time at all. I think the majority of the J6ers should have not served any time. They should not be in jail or prison or anything at all. I think a few select people probably deserved to serve some time, and I think they did their time, and I agree that they should have been released. I will just go back to the Democratic Party and pull out some of their phenomenal, great people. We could just pick the last president, Joe Biden, and we could really deep dive into his life. He should probably be in prison now. Just saying, allegedly, that's my personal opinion.
Got it.
Yeah.
I want to make a correction. I absolutely misspoke. Chansley did not go into Pelosi's office. That was a different group and put the feet up on the desk. He did sit in the Senate chair, and he did start a prayer chain inside the Senate chamber.
What a dick for praying.
But took photographs.
Horrible person.
But it's still trespass. He still trespassed. And it doesn't matter. He should not have spent a day in jail. He should have got a citation, escorted off the premises, and a slight suspension. Even in Pelosi's office, he did not go. I want to make sure I got my facts straight. I just looked it up because someone challenged me. You are right. I was wrong. It gets very confusing, all the detail. But he did go in the Senate chamber. I know he did. Started a prayer, and he had actual security was with him, and they followed him in. Either way,
correct.
He's not a Nazi.
They led him into places, right?
Yeah,
he was dressed up in a costume. So they were like, oh, this guy's in a costume. Let's make it like a fun thing.
That wasn't the argument. The argument was the security officers did not want to get stormed and did not want to create conflict because they didn't understand the level. He went in where he should not have gone in, and the security did tell him no when he tried to go in the Senate chamber, but he went, and then they escorted him in, but they did not want conflict. It comes down to this. Nobody should have been in the fucking Senate building. Nobody should have been in the Capitol building, period. Okay? That's it. You didn't have a permit. That's against the law. There are rules. And if I got to fucking follow them, you got to follow them too. That's it. But he should not have been in jail for that time. And a lot of them absolutely have served their time. Liv, you get the last minute, and then we'll put a bow on it.
Is this for the show or for the segment?
I don't care.
He wants to go to bed.
No, I don't want to go to bed. I want
wrap it up.
I just want to keep the show doing what it's doing, which is just crushing.
So, the Avs are playing.
No, it's not that. I'm just okay, ladies. Seriously. Oh.
Guess what? I'm only 3 feet away. I heard what you said.
Go ahead, babe.
Would you like me to repeat it?
No, I want you to go ahead and take your final minute.
Oh, well, welcome to all the new people. We had a lot of new faces tonight, which is fantastic. Yeah. And thank you for all the donations. Appreciate it. I will not be on tomorrow because I probably will not have a voice. So hopefully I'll have a voice for Friday. We'll see. I might just stay here and look cute and just be the face of the show. I may not be able to talk on Friday. We'll see.
Also, them suspending habeas corpus and having them be domestic terrorists. A lot of people are like, well, they were in jail without trials and everything. Once they held them as domestic terrorists, habeas corpus is suspended. And that's why they did it. And that was a complete abuse of the law. You should not classify them as domestic terrorists until they are adjudicated. And then the sentencing is based upon their actions. They were tried and convicted before they even fucking were arrested. Anyone who the government was going to make. I spoke out against J6. I'm not going to say that the government acted properly. Amy, wrap it up.
Yes.
Bring it home.
You are no longer allowed to drink on the show.
Just
Holy
make
shit,
it quick.
lightweight.
For the love of God, will you hurry up?
Sorry.
Do your
I
minute.
stopped
Go.
drinking. It's because I stopped drinking. So when I have a drink, it's like over the top crazy.
More alcohol is definitely what you need. That's a good call.
I haven't even finished it. It's like there's like some left. Mother.
That's why you're a lightweight.
Anyway, I'm such a lightweight. I've always been a lightweight. My last minute. One, I'm gonna be a little bit serious and a little bit funny. One, please let's play. Oh, start again. Let's pray for motherfucking. Sorry. Bitch ass punks.
You're making me laugh.
Sorry. Sorry. I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry to offend anyone. But please give your motherfucking bitch ass prayers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm so kidding. I'm so kidding.
Folks, we gotta go. She is fucking lost it.
Anyways.
Amy, this does not compute. You need to stop.
Seriously, Amy. I am your father, Amy. I have a particular set of skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you do not harm her and you return her, I will not look for you. I will not find you. But if you do,
oh my
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
Great. I
Does
just
that work on our
recommend
mics too?
No, I recommend that you don't kill me. I have a variety of people that you could probably target for a better cause. I'm not that horrible. I'm not great. I just want to remind people to please keep our normal dumb show friends and family in your prayers.
Yes.
Please
Yes.
pray extra hard for R3. I'm allowed to call him R3. Can I call him R3?
You can call him R3 as long
R3,
as you
yeah.
do it quickly.
R3. Quickly. R3.
R3 quickly.
Olivia, you can
Right.
say something now in the funny voice.
It works on R.
Does it work?
Actually works.
Wait, if you do that, like I can't hear it as myself. So do I sound crazy?
No,
When
I
you-
don't.
Like, no.
No.
Yes,
I sound crazy?
You sound crazy, Amy.
Well,
Amy,
that's
you don't
just
need
a
a
given.
voice modifier to sound crazy. So.
Also
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Thanks for having Boo on for your Snap into a Wimkin.
Yeah, she killed it. She killed it.
He aspires
Tell
to be
her-
famous.
She is famous. She's awesome. The Constitution of the United States, 144 pages. Go get it. It's awesome. It's on thedumbshow.com. Go get coffee, whatever. Folks, thanks for the donations. Thanks for helping us out. Amy, we love you. We always love when you drink and you're on the show. It always makes it so fun. Oh, yeah, by the way.
Love you.
Thank you.
Hard. I'm
So-
sending my love out to y'all.
We love you.
I'm sending love.
Listen, Andrew Tate had it right. He's like, you know what, motherfuckers? You guys are all pussies. I'm going to be doing Zig Heil every day because you're going to call me a Nazi anyway. Might as well be a Nazi. So he's like, see ya.
Yes.
And people are like, look at him.
Sending
He's
love.
a Nazi. And he's like, well, you're going to call me a Nazi anyway. Don't Zig Heil. You guys knock it off. All right?
No.
Ixenstein Belina. Good night, everybody. We'll see. Nine.
Buenas
That's about all the
noches.
German I know.
All right.
I know Dankeschön. That's about
Donkey
it.
shit.
Yeah,
Donkey
donkey
shit.
Yep.
See you guys tomorrow. What time are we on, Liv? Tell them quick.
You and Leroy are on at 7 o'clock.
Leroy and I are on at 7. I don't know German 7. Maybe it's Sven.
Maybe if we let Hayden take it in 8th grade, she would know it.
She wanted to take German. I'm like, you're not fucking taking German. Nobody speaks German. Nobody cares. All right, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for donating. Thanks for taking care of the Don't Unfriend Me show. We love you. Amy, we love you. Fiona, we love you. Family, we love you. Jason, we love you. What's up?
Everybody.
What are you doing, Fiona?
She can't hear you. Hold on, put this in your ear. Hold that in your ear.
Hold it?
Yeah, just hold this part and put this part in your ear.
Fiona, can you hear me? Fiona, what are you doing, Fiona?
I have no clue.
No, that's a robot voice. You need to do the dark.
This is a robot voice. Fiona, what the hell are you doing?
Look at her, she's laughing.
Fiona, I was wondering it. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Mama, kitty bear ghetto. I know one little kitty who's sleeping with mommy tonight.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Okay, you're good.
Good night. We'll see you guys 7 o'clock tomorrow.
No.
What?
Good night, everybody. See ya. Tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Night, y'all.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and
Of course, Mel knows what it is in German.
Live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.